Hear it? Do you know why Northwestern is playing early today? Is that just to get Jamestown on the road, or right? Wind's going to be a little more of a factor than we thought. Boy, it gets up in the wind. It's not. It's awful. It's awful. Yes, because yeah. Well, you know
Park in Sioux Center, Iowa, as we get set for Great Plains Athletic Conference football, the final week of the regular season, and the Dordt Defenders playing for probably a share of second place in the Great Plains Athletic Conference, right now tied with Morningside in the league standings. Northwestern has won the conference title outright. They have a 2-game lead with 1 game to go. And we get into the last game of the regular season with hopes of potentially a playoff berth, which would be announced late in the day tomorrow, as you just heard Great Plains Athletic Conference Commissioner Corey Westra tell us. The foe for the Defenders today, very capable Dakota Wesleyan team, a team that has won 6 games overall, 5 in the conference. They have stood tall against some teams recently. They have suffered losses to Northwestern and Morningside, but the one that raised my eyebrow was a loss to Briar Cliff. So some tough things to reconcile, if you will, but the Dordt coaching staff in our conversations this week saying Dakota Wesleyan, a team that seems to play to the level of the opponents, and today we would expect nothing less from them. I'll be joined later in our pregame show by Kyle Achterhoff. He will provide some insight here in the last week of the regular season. We're also going to check in with Ross Simple, the head football coach of the Dakota Wesleyan Tigers. Joel Penner will be by for his pregame comments as well. And then we'll get to kickoff at about 1 o'clock. Dordt versus Dakota Wesleyan. Great Plains Athletic Conference football back visiting with Coach Ross Simple in 2 minutes.
Today's Dordt Media Network livestream broadcast is produced by the students of Dordt University. Thanks for watching.
We're visiting with Coach Ross Simple. He is the head football coach for Dakota Wesleyan. And, Coach, up to this point, you started the year. You've lost 3 out of the last 4, but against pretty good opponents. Morningside and Northwestern both got you, and they've gotten a lot of teams so far this year. Are you playing, you feel like, similar football right now as you were earlier in the year? Have some teams exposed some things? Where are you at as a team heading into the regular season finale?
Yeah, I think that's a really good question. I think the best way I think I can answer that is I think our best game is still out there. That doesn't mean that we're not making progress or we're regressing. But I think there's some things consistently. You look at the Northwestern game last week. Defensively not our best game. And offensively being able to move the ball. There was a time after halftime we go down and score, make it a 2-score game. And then we get an interception on the next drive, and offensively, we need those guys to kind of step up and move the ball down the field and get a score and try to make it a a 10-point game or even a one-possession game. And those are the things that I'm really talking about, that, we've got to be able to play off of each other a little bit better. If we do turn the ball over, we've got to be able to get a stop and react in those sudden change situations. And, so I think there's times where defensively, they're kind of carrying us. And then I think there's games offensively where they're carrying us. And I think there's games that we've put some really good things together. But, really the consistency between both sides of the ball, I think is something that we can still try to put together for this season.
Offensively, Jamin Aaron leads you on the ground, over 1,100 yards rushing. Keel Nelson, your receiver, 46 receptions. Austin Lee, it appears he has played almost every snap. He has all of the passing stats, at least. You've got three pretty good building blocks at skill positions to build around on that offensive side.
Yeah, I think those guys are what make us go offensively. Keel, a converted receiver, a converted quarterback to receiver. Last year is his first year playing that position, and really, really done a nice job this season. And, in all aspects, I think Jamin was on everybody's radar last year, and especially at the end of the year and what he was capable of doing. And he's only continued that. I mean, those guys are the heartbeat of our offense. And all three of those guys are captains. So I think, we're really a reflection of the work and the effort that those guys are putting forth, and seeing the positive results of those guys leading our team.
What's the strength of this defense?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's, the strength of our defense, isn't necessarily experience at our linebacker group, but I think our linebacker group, we put a lot on their plate, and at times, when those guys are operating well and playing fast, I think that's the group that we're really relying on. We're a little banged up in our DB group a little bit. We finally got, some of our D linemen back, in the middle of the season there. We were going with 2 and only 3 D linemen. Certain games we only traveled 5 guys or dressed 5 D linemen. And so that put a lot of pressure on our DBs and our linebackers. But, I think our D-line group is coming back and getting those guys healthy and really putting an exclamation point on us being able to do some things up front. And, I think we're seeing those positives. But, I think our DB group brings the most experience. We've had those guys in some tough spots and some tough situations. And, but overall, I think, it's our kind of the interior of our defense with our interior D linemen, our inside linebackers, and then our safeties that we really depend on those guys to get us in the right spots and do the right things.
What do you need to do to have success against Dordt?
Well, I think, defensively, the number one thing, they're unbelievably talented, and you got to eliminate or minimize those chunk yardage plays. You got to make them drive the field, which is much easier said than done. But they just make you defend every single blade of grass on the field, and one play, one missed tackle, and it's probably a touchdown that you're giving up. And, so being able to make them snap it again is critical. And then offensively, it is the best defensive front that we've faced. Those guys play extremely hard. Their motors just never stop. They create confusion with their different looks and just extremely talented defensively. I think they're the best team defense that we're going to see. And so, how do we keep our offense on the field and, finish drives with points? I think that's going to be a huge challenge. And then when you talk about those things, you talk about field position, you talk about turnovers and special teams, that all come into play in a game like this.
That's Ross Simple, Dakota Wesleyan head football coach. Back with more on our pregame show right after this.
Welcome to the American State Bank Sports Complex. Let me show you around. So right now we're in the spacious head house of the complex. On my left here we have the concession stand, and then on my right here we have a seating area, whether that's for students, spectators, or fans to come and enjoy before and in between games. This is the moment you've been waiting for. Welcome to the Dome. In the Dome, we have the space available for 2 full-size softball fields. However, this space is also utilized by the football, baseball, and soccer teams, as well as for other various athletic events. So the Dome has impacted the softball team in a variety of ways. First, we used to practice during the winter months over in the rec center, but the limited space availability never really allowed us to hit our full potential, whereas in here, we can fit 2 full-size softball fields. We're also able to start games much earlier in the season. We have a range of equipment available here at the Dome, whether it's the batting cages, the soccer goals, or even a field goal available for the football team. It's a huge opportunity to have the space available to practice in the off-season, especially for our outdoor athletic teams. Another great thing about the American State Bank Sports Complex is that it's not just for Dordt athletes, it's for the entire community. Whether that's high school soccer leagues, open turf time, or even a space for intramurals. The American State Bank Sports Complex will change not only how we practice as Dordt athletes, but also how we interact with the community as a whole. Thanks for letting me take you on a little tour. Hope you stop by soon.
Hi, my name is Lynn Marie Tremolian.
My name is Tyler Vanderwoon.
Hi, my name is Noah Zylstra. I'm from Chicago, Illinois.
I'm from Pella, Iowa.
And I'm from Springfield, Kentucky.
One of my favorite things about the Dordt Media Network is being able to go to various Dordt sporting events throughout the year.
My favorite part of the Dordt Media Network is being able to produce a quality live stream for people to watch at home.
Thanks for watching the Dordt Media Network.
And you're watching Dordt Media Network.
Thanks for watching the Dordt Media Network.
On our pregame show, we shift our attention to the Dordt Defenders, and the Dordt Defenders coming off a win over the Morningside Mustangs last week. Feels good to say that, Coach. I mean, I know it's been a few days, and you have had to shift your focus to Dakota Wesleyan, and I thought about that through the course of this week. We always sit down for this interview on Friday, and we recap last week, and it's like almost, I wouldn't say anticlimactic, because you and your coaching staff and your players have had to shift your attention to Dakota Wesleyan. While we have to acknowledge and recap, last week was a big week for your program.
Yeah, Mike, for sure. Last Monday, I met with the captains and I said, "All right, guys, here's my dilemma, and I need your help. I wanna honor what happened on Saturday, and I want to celebrate it, but I also want our team focused on this week. How do I do that?" And we had a nice discussion on, how much time we spend, and I had probably 5 minutes of discussion about last Saturday with the team, and then we shifted gears. I think super special moment in our program's history, super special for Defender Nation, for me, my family, just everything. But we also have limited hours to get ready for the game, and so I think we struck the balance well, and the guys have had a good week of practice. The past is the past, whether it's good or whether it's bad, and they're dialed into the task at hand this week.
Dakota Wesleyan, and people have asked me, how good is Dakota Wesleyan? And I said they are a very capable team. I've done a little bit of my prep work on them, and they started the year very well in terms of wins and losses. Recently, have had some struggles, but facing Northwestern and Morningside in that stretch, the one that kind of raised my eyebrow was, okay, a loss to Briar Cliff. Where does that fit in? So this Dakota Wesleyan team, what are they?
Dangerous, unpredictable. Which team shows up? I think that's kind of the thought. We expect their best, and their best is good, really good, especially on offense. I think they have one of the elite backs in the conference, and they feed him the football. They're competent in the passing game. They've got great scheme. They're well coached. They play really hard. They're scrappy on defense. But some weeks they don't really show up. And so in our planning, we've approached it from they're going to show up and play their best, and then how do we try to slow that down? That's kind of how we've looked at it.
You are facing a Dakota Wesleyan team, as you said. They really rely heavily on the run on offense. What is Coach McCormick? What do you have to what does the defense have to do to maybe limit the damage? I don't know that you're going to stop it, but limit the damage.
Yeah, you see some great defenses around the league who obviously have competent staffs and really had the same objectives and really couldn't do it. And so we've tried to learn from the approaches that work and the ones that don't. And I think at the end of the day, it's just being sound on your gap fits. It's properly crushing the front down, bouncing the ball outside to our DBs and our linebackers, and We have I think, one of the nation's elite rushing defenses. And so now Dakota Wesleyan does run an outside zone scheme that's kind of unique to the conference that not a lot of people do. And so that presents some challenges, but really it's taking care of what we do. You know, you've got to trust your DBs in coverage because you've got to have people's eyes in the backfield to stop the run. But fortunately, we've been playing really good on the back end as well. So I think just play solid football, know who the guys are that they're trying to feed the ball and target in the pass game, and we got to make plays. It's like any other week, Mike. Every week it's the same thing. It's football comes down to trying to take away the right hand of an opponent, and how do you make plays one-on-one.
Offensively, your team coming off a week in which you had some success on the ground at times. Throwing the ball was a little bit of a challenge simply because of the opponent's secondary was very good, very physically good. What can your offense do against this Dakota Wesleyan team? Yeah, I'm always going into every game now saying, all right, which defense are we going to face? Because teams are rarely running their base defense against us, sure, the ones that we see on film. And so it really comes down to adjusting well. You know, we kind of look at we did like a greatest hits album this year. We looked at the best defenses that have faced us and what have they done. And then we've assumed that our opponent might use those defenses and similarly set up their structure to slow us down. And I feel like we've got improvement, and we've just gotten a lot better at that. It's interesting to see the copycat that happens in the league when one team tries something and it works. Sure enough, you see it next week, even though they haven't shown it all year. So at the end of the day, it's the same story. It's handling what's in front of you. Football comes down to a matchup. It's me versus you, and you know, is our guy going to be trained and ready and confident to handle his business? And I think we're starting to find a groove offensively with what we're trying to do, and so we just need to execute. Senior day as well, a good group of seniors, a significant number of seniors will be recognized, and this is a group that they're still part of that whole mess that was COVID, and they've stuck with it, and they've hung with it, and an opportunity to honor them here on Saturday afternoon as well. Yeah, you know, I always get emotional when I think about the seniors. This is a strange year because I don't know if it's their last game or right,
not.
Yeah.
You know, so there isn't this sense of finality and closure that you're used to. But yeah, we want to honor these guys by playing our best, and they've given so much. I mean, when I think about this senior class, you know, the wins that they've posted, the GPAs they've been managing to put up, the way they've served in the community, the way they've grown up as men. Yeah, it's a special day, and we just want to play hard and honor them well. That's Dordt football coach Joel Penner. And we'll be back with more on our pregame show right after this.
Today's Dordt Media Network livestream broadcast is produced by the students of Dordt University. Thanks for watching.
Hi, my name is Samantha Wilbur.
Hi, my name is Philip Shippey.
Hey, my name is Eli Levtinsky from Cedar Rapids, Iowa.
I am from Pregame, Iowa.
I'm from Sioux Center, Iowa.
Shout out to my family back home and my girlfriend for just supporting me throughout my college experience. It really means a lot.
My favorite part about working for this is making these promos and stuff that you see during commercial breaks.
And you're watching the Dordt Media Network.
And you're watching the Dordt Media Network.
Thanks for watching the Dordt Media Network.
pregame festivities have concluded. That is the senior day. We'll be getting to the national anthem here in just a little bit and the coin toss too, and we'll make way for that when it happens. And I'm joined by Kyle Achterhoff as the defenders and Dakota Wesleyan get set. And Kyle, a game where for the defenders so close to a goal, they need to probably put some of those emotions aside and some of those thoughts aside and think about simply the task at hand.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, as you go into the final regular season week of the season and you have, you know, that postseason kind of looming out there, it's easy to get in the back of everybody's mind and your players, but you just got to focus in. And I know Coach Penner and his staff have really been talking all week about, hey, let's play our very best game of the season, because the most important game of the season is today. That's just the fact of the matter. You got to take care of business, and you know, as mentioned earlier, a pretty quality opponent in this Dakota Wesleyan team.
Dakota Wesleyan, a very capable opponent, and we're going to have our national anthem here shortly, so we're going to step aside for that. We're going to take another 2-minute break as we get into that, and then we'll be back for the coin toss, and we'll go right probably into the kickoff after that. So we'll have more comments on the way after our national anthem. Let's take a 2-minute break, and we'll be back with more from Open Space Park in 2 minutes. Today's broadcast brought to you by Snyder Insurance and Financial Group of Sioux Center, offering life, health, Medicare supplements, annuities, and more. Trusted service and exceptional products with you in mind since 1973.
American State Bank is celebrating our 50th anniversary, and we couldn't have made it this far without your support. For us, banking just scratches the surface. We pride ourselves in our commitment to our communities, building meaningful relationships with our customers, and doing our best to have some fun along the way. We're proud to be a locally owned and operated bank, supporting the communities we serve. Thank you for choosing American State Bank. We can't wait to see what the next 50 years have in store.
This Dordt Media Network student-produced live stream broadcast is brought to you by Joyner & Zwart Dentistry in Orange City, offering dentures, implants, and dental care for your whole family in a modern and friendly atmosphere.
And brought to you by 712 Realty, a team of realtors in Northwest Iowa with the drive, care, and the results you need to buy or sell your home. Visit them online at 712realty.com. Leading you home.
Here we live between big city and small town, but we don't do anything halfway. We play in a community that's safe for families while providing our kids big city opportunities. We work in a place proud of its rural history that's already writing its future in science and technology. This is a place where we love our neighbors and where a small town is more like a big family. Sioux Center. Live life in the middle of everything.
And Dakota Wesleyan Tigers getting set for their Great Plains Athletic Conference finale. And it doesn't seem that long ago we were opening up the year on the road at Doane, and then had some home games. Last one was 2 weeks ago, the Barcliffe Chargers, and season moves along right till you get into that rhythm of a game a week, and here you are at the end of the year, and you look back and you see the growth of the team. For Dordt, Kyle, as we have watched, I think we started assuming one thing with the offense, and that it was going to be really diversified and they were going to throw the ball a lot. And then it kind of settled into, okay, teams figured some of that out, and they've had to go back to bread and butter, and that being some options, some run-pass option and things like that. And that's just the nature of a season. Week by week, you've got to figure things out.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, defenses adjust, make things difficult for offenses throughout the year as they see more of what you're doing on film. And you have to counter that adjustment, right, with maybe doing things a little bit differently on the offensive side of the ball. I think, you know, Coach Penner's ultimate goal is to get more balanced and being able to do both very efficiently. And, that because there's going to be teams, and we saw it second half last week's game against Morningside, right, is teams are going to load up and make things really difficult for you, changing their fronts up, trying to make things difficult for you to run the ball. So then there's going to be times where you're going to be forced to throw, and we got to be able to do that well also.
On defense, this team started the year exceptionally well on defense, and you kept thinking, okay, can they keep this up, and can they be a dominant defense? They have proven over time that they are one of the best defenses in the league this year.
Yeah, absolutely. They're playing really well on that side of the ball. They have a lot of upperclassmen, a lot of experience over there, and they bring a lot of pressure. They do really well against run. Probably a perceived weakness early on may have been in the secondary, and that they've proven us all wrong by playing lights out. Grant Hixon doing a great job at corner, and boy, the whole defensive secondary just having a phenomenal year as well. So, just an experienced group playing really well on that side of the ball.
Dakota Wesleyan, a team, as we talked about earlier in the pregame, up and down. Started the year exceptionally well, lost some games recently. They're trying to close out the year, looking for their 7th overall win of the season. If they do that, that's an exceptional year for them based on what I believe they expected to have as the year began.
Yeah, it's probably their best season in a number of years. Coach Simple's been there probably a dozen years as head coach, and has done kind of that job of trying to figure out and trying to develop a program. Has a little bit more numbers this year in terms of the squad, and it seems like other than probably one game, their Briar Cliff game, they've won the games that maybe they should, and they've lost against teams that are ranked highly in the nation. So they're kind of doing the things they need to do to win some games.
Developing a program, and we talk about it, you lose players, you lose coaches, you've got to continue to morph, and administration changes at a school. It is not just come in with the cookie cutter and say this is how we're going to do it, boom, and 10 years later you're still doing it the same way. I think we've seen that with the Dordt football program, Dakota Wesleyan probably the same way, and they're reaping some of the benefits. I also believe they're reaping some of the benefits of an additional year of play for some players. Having fifth-year players around certainly helps.
Well, and they have some really good, skilled players, running back, quarterback, a receiver that's kind of does, everything really well. When you have those kind of guys, it's going to lead to some success.
Keel Nelson is back to return the kick from Stephen Leinen, and this one goes through the end zone as we expected with the stiff breeze out of the south at Stephen Leinen's back. And Dakota Wesleyan will start first down and 10 at their own 25-yard line, and Dakota Wesleyan will have the football first as Dordt won the coin toss, and they elected to defer to the second half. So the defenders will send the defensive unit onto the field, and for the Dordt defense, this is a team that has been pretty good against the run so far this year, allowing 74 yards per game rushing, and they have allowed 15.2 points per game. They rely heavily Dakota Wesleyan relies heavily on their running back, Jamin Aaron. He's 6 foot, 205 pounds, and he's rushed for over 1,100 yards this season. And Dordt's defensive coordinator, Brandon McCormick, talking about him in the same breath as Northwestern's Connor McQuillan. So that gives you an idea of the quality that the Dordt defense has prepared for this afternoon on the ground. Man in motion, that's Nelson. They flip it to Nelson. Nelson caught in the backfield, stumbles, and Dordt wraps him up for a loss. And blowing up the play initially, I believe that was Drew Dom who got over, limited him, kept him from getting to the end, and as he had to try and turn the ball upfield, the good pursuit by the Dordt defense.
Yeah, great job by Dom. Just getting upfield, beating the offensive tackle to the spot, and making that receiver try to bounce it outside, try to cut back in. Defensive pursuit was really good on that play.
Austin Lee is your quarterback for Dakota Wesleyan. Man in motion. They send the man in motion behind the formation, and they hand it off to Aaron. Aaron, the ball carrier, and Aaron, nothing there, and he's going to be stopped short of the original line of scrimmage. It's going to be third down and a long 10 for Dakota Wesleyan.
You mentioned, Mike, how good of a running back he is, and that's why it's going to be really important for this Dordt defensive unit to swarm to the ball, because he's going to make some guys miss. He's going to break some tackles. So that second, third, fourth, fifth guy need to be able to finish the play.
Dakota Wesleyan facing 3rd down and 10, so 3rd down and long. They are going into the wind to start the contest. Austin Lee sends a man in motion. That's Aaron. Aaron motions out of the backfield, so the backfield is empty. Looking right, throwing to the left, to his right, and the pass falls incomplete. It will be 4th down, and Dakota Wesleyan is forced to punt on their first possession. 4th down and 10 on the way for Dakota Wesleyan.
Yeah, Dakota Wesleyan trying to run a little bit of a tunnel screen to a receiver and really well defended by the defensive unit.
On to punt for Dakota Wesleyan will be Sam Welch. Thomas McCullough is back at his own 43-yard line. And we will see if Welch, what he does into the wind here. Line of scrimmages, the 25-yard line. Last week, Dordt's special teams got a block, and this one gets caught up in the wind, and it's going to take a Dordt bounce, and it'll be downed at the Dakota Wesleyan 38-yard line. So Dakota Wesleyan, we wondered if the wind would be a factor when we talked yesterday. We said, well, maybe it will, maybe it won't. Hard to say, and here in the early going, it looks like it will be a factor if you're forced to kick into it.
Absolutely. Probably the area that it will affect the most is the kicking game, because you can't get the ball up in the air very high, and it's going to get held up as we saw on that punt by Dakota Wesleyan.
We're going to see it on kickoffs into the wind. We'll see it on point after tries and field goals. It's basically all the way. It's straight out of the south. You've got Dordt's offense on the field for the first time today. Zach Riley over on the right side of the line. Colson Cruz is your quarterback. Colson Cruz turns, fakes. Long pass across the field over to Harkin, and not much there for Caden Harkin. Going to be a short gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 10. 2nd and 10 on the pass completion to Harkin at the 39-yard line.
Yeah, good job by Dakota Wesleyan's defensive secondary, really rallying to the ball and getting there about the time that the pass was caught.
Takes a long time for that ball to get over there. That's a long throw. Colson Cruz completed to Harkin, but again, no gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 10. Riley comes set on the near side, man in motion. That's Connor Dodd in motion. Colson Cruz with it. Colson Cruz picks up positive yardage. He picks up nearly 5 yards on the play. It'll be 3rd down and 5 at the Dakota Wesleyan 34-yard line. So 3rd down and 4. Dakota Wesleyan with a stop as Colson Cruz elected to cut it back to the middle of the field instead of trying to get to the edge. He had Connor Dodd running with him to the edge. Connor Dodd now lining up at running back. So Dodd back in action last week against Morningside. He draws the early action here this afternoon. Colson Cruz quarterbacking, 3rd down and 5. Cruz pitches over to Dodd. Dodd's going to get the first down. Dodd to the 30, Dodd to the 25, Dodd to the 20, and he's forced out of bounds inside the 20, down near the 16-yard line, and I automatically look and see, are there any holding penalty, any flags on the play, and none were, and Dordt gets it to their playmaker, and he makes a play.
Yeah, a really good job on the perimeter blocking by the other receivers, tight ends. We're able to get the ball out to pitch, and Dodd made a great play. 1st down and 10 at the 16-yard line for the defenders. So Dordt in Dakota Wesleyan territory, trying to capitalize on the short field early on. Preston McCoy in the backfield now. So Dordt rotating backs heavily early on. Colson Cruz gets the snap. Gives it to McCoy. McCoy up the middle. McCoy nearly untouched inside the 5, down to the 3-yard line. And that's another Dordt first down on the 13-yard pickup on the play for McCoy. Yeah, that's going to be important. You know, it makes things really difficult for a defense if you're having success on the perimeter run, but also running the ball inside. So being able to have success in both areas and keep your defense honest, that's going to be really important today.
1st down and goal to go at the 3-yard line. Colson Cruz has Brendan Piper behind him. Brendan Piper scored a touchdown last week on a pass play. Colson Cruz, 1st down goal to go at the 3. Cruz hands it off to Piper. Piper runs on the right side, and he's going to pick up maybe a yard on the play. 2nd effort down to the 2-yard line, and it'll be 2nd down and goal to go from the 2. 2nd and goal to go from the 2. This is the last game of the regular season. Over in Orange City, the men's basketball team playing Viterbo, and the Dordt men lead that one 64-62. Viterbo putting up a little bit more of a fight than I had anticipated. Actually had a 10-point lead earlier in the second half. Dordt put together a run, and they lead by 2 right now. We'll keep you abreast of that situation. Second down goal to go. Fake the handoff to McCoy. Pitch over to Piper. Piper waltzes into the end zone. Touchdown defenders, and couldn't ask for a better start for the Dordt defense, getting to 3 plays and a punt, and the Dordt offense producing on the short play.
Yeah, we've, in my coaching experience, one thing that I liked on windy days is being able to kick with the wind, put a little bit extra pressure on your defense about causing 3 and out. So you can get your offense on the field, take advantage, and get an early score. Exactly what the Dordt defenders did here this afternoon.
Stephen Leinen on to attempt the point after try. This will be his 36th try of the season. Snap is down, kick is up, and the kick is through the uprights, and the Dordt defenders grab a 7-0 lead. 7-0 our score. Dordt with a lead. 10:16 left to go first quarter. Back with more from Sioux Center in 1 minute.
This broadcast also brought to you by Vision Realty. We are polished, experienced, and professional, offering excellence every step of the way. We are the vision you can trust.
And brought to you by Pizza Ranch, buffet, carry out, or delivery.
And brought to you by Ployne Publishing, quality printing from design to delivery. Ployne Publishing.
Today's Dordt Media Network livestream broadcast is produced by the students of Dordt University. Thanks for watching.
Stephen Leinen puts his foot into it, sends it out of the back of the end zone again, and for Dakota Wesleyan, a replay of their first drive as they will now face 1st down and 10 from their own 25-yard line on the touchback.
Yeah, in their first series, Mike, Dakota Wesleyan kind of got behind the sticks with their first down play. I think for them to have success against the Dordt stout defense, they're going to have to win first down. They have to get into a second medium, second short type of situations.
1st down and 10 from their own 25-yard line. Lee is your quarterback. Lee turns, hands, gives to Aaron. Aaron trying to weave his way forward and picks up maybe 2 yards on the play. It's going to be 2nd down and 8, and really neutralized at the line of scrimmage was the running back, Aaron, and he was able to weave his way forward for an extra 5 or 6 feet, but ends up 2nd down and 8.
Well, it looked like a play that gained more yards than what it really did, and I think mainly because of Dordt's defensive line moving the line of scrimmage.
2nd down and 8. Austin Lee sends a man in motion. Lee hands it off Aaron, and Aaron is buried in the backfield. A loss of 6 on the play. He didn't have a chance. Sam Andrews was there blowing it up, and I think Drew Dahm was there as well, isolating on that play. There's your replay, and the first man there was indeed Sam Andrews, as might have been Cooper Hidalgo over there too, but boy, there wasn't anything there.
Yeah, great job of penetration, and there, you have a good running back, and the best way to neutralize a really good running back is to get him before he gets started, and really getting him 3 yards deep in the backfield was important there.
3rd down and 14. Dakota Wesleyan back to pass, under pressure, hit as he throws, and the pass falls incomplete, intended on the play for Logan Fearback, and it's going to be 4th down, and for the second time today in the first 7 minutes of the contest, Dakota Wesleyan forced to punt into the wind. So a punt coming into the wind. Last time Dordt was able to capitalize, got a short field to work with. Thomas McCullough stationed at the Dakota Wesleyan 45-yard line now. That is just 25 yards from the line of scrimmage. Punter is Sam Welch, and Welch awaiting the snap. Play clock winding down. He gets it away. A line drive this time taken by McCullough. Fair catch called for at the 46-yard line. 1st down and 10 for the defenders at the Dakota Wesleyan 46-yard line. So Dakota Wesleyan will send the defense back on the field, and 3 plays and out. Time of possession not good so far for Dakota Wesleyan, and the Dordt defenders have been able to take advantage, and 3 plays and an out, 3 plays and a punt for the Dordt defense twice, and now sends the offense onto the field with, again, a great field position. First down and 10 for the defenders and Cruz. Cruz has Wellen behind him. Cruz is going to roll left. Pass is complete and completed over on the near sideline. That's to Cade Rohr. Rohr down near the 40-yard line, falls forward to the 38-yard line. It'll be second down and 2.
Yeah, and Rohr was inches away from breaking that tackle and turning that into a really big play for the defenders.
Second down and 2. Dordt hurries up to the line of scrimmage. They've got time, though. 20 seconds on the play clock. Colson Cruz in the pistol. Brendan Piper behind him. Cruz, 5 yards deep, gets the snap, hands it off to Piper. Piper, the ball carrier. Piper picks up the first down, moves the sticks. It'll be a first down for the defenders at the 35-yard line. Shaken up on the play for Dakota Wesleyan, slow in getting up is Cale Stevenson. Stevenson takes a knee in the Dordt backfield. Not sure what happened there, but he never got up off of that knee, and now he is down, and he will be attended to by the training staff for Dakota Wesleyan. So, player shaken up for Dakota Wesleyan while he's attended to. Let's take a 1-minute break. You're listening to Dordt Football on KIHK and the Dordt Media Network. Back with more in a minute. Today's broadcast is brought to you by NewTek. They're your partner for success when purchasing equipment for construction, manufacturing, ag, and other industries. Don't miss the opportunity to transform your business and redefine your productivity standards with NewTek. Today's broadcast is brought to you by Rental. Looking for top-notch rental equipment? Look no further than Rental in Sioux Center, Spencer, Storm Lake, and Sioux Falls. Rental, your regional equipment rental experts. Visit them online, rental.com, or call 712-722-3928.
We understand how complex the financial landscape can be to navigate. Our goal is to free up your hands so that you can focus on what is most important in life.
(16-3) Northwestern. First down and 10 for the defenders as we return to play, and just overshoots the intended receiver, Connor Dodd, and Dodd catches that in stride. He's got a first down and maybe more. Instead, it'll be second down and 10 as Colson Cruz leads his receiver just a little bit too far.
Yeah, it was a well set up play, and Colson just overshot him by a couple inches. Otherwise, it could have been a big play.
Second down and 10. Dodd now lines up in the backfield with Cruz. 7:38 remaining in the first period. Dordt leading 7-0. Cruz takes the snap. He's going to run option to the far side. Pitches over to Dodd. Dodd gets a block. Dodd turns upfield. Maybe picks up 3 on the play, but we've got a flag on the play as well, and this is likely going to be a hold against the defenders. It'll be interesting here. Do you take the yards and give Dordt's offense an extra play, or do you settle for it and say it's going to be third down and 8?
Yeah, I think that's what Coach Simple's thinking about right now.
It looks like, the official is anticipating that he's going to take the yard, so give Dordt a couple of plays to try to make up the 20. It's going to be second down and 20, and in all likelihood might be in 4-down territory. We'll see what they do on the next 2 plays. Second down and 20 for the defenders at the 45-yard line. Pushes the defenders out of field goal range in all likelihood, for the moment at least. Pretty stiff breeze at the back, though. Lots of things to watch develop. Harkin in motion left to right. And we've got movement at the line of scrimmage, and that's going to be another 5 yards the wrong way for the defenders. It's going to be second down and 25, and this one, there are not a lot of plays in the playbook for this situation.
No, you just got to get part of it back here. Get yourself in a situation where you're in a third and more like 10 or 12. make things a little bit more manageable. This situations like this is when you could wish you were huddling up so your quarterback could just, hey, settle down, Phils. Let's get things back on track.
Second down and 25. Cruz pitches it to Dodd. Dodd, it's going to be caught in the backfield, and the football is loose, and it looks like Dodd got back on top of it. It's going to be third down and 23. So third down and 28. The defenders now back on their side of the field. First time the defenders have run an offensive play from their half of the football field this afternoon. It's going to be third down and long, and now you just don't want to make a silly mistake and maybe try to punt and pin and play the long game here.
Yeah, exactly. This isn't a bad time. Try to throw the thing downfield, throw a jump ball. If you don't complete it, maybe get a flag, get a pass interference type of call on Dakota Wesleyan. But really nothing to lose by throwing it downfield.
Third down and 28. Pass is over the middle, in and out of the hands of the intended receiver, Evan Jordahl. And it's going to be fourth down, and the defenders are forced to punt from their own 47-yard line. And for the first time this afternoon, we will see Blade Coons on the field. Blade, a senior from Van Meter, Iowa, with 6:17 left to go in the first quarter. Dordt leading 7-0. So 7-0 our score here. We'll get you an update on the men's basketball game in just a little bit. So Blade Coons kicking with the wind. We'll see if he's able to drop one inside the 20. And this one, end over end kick, and it takes a Dakota Wesleyan bounce into the end zone. Touchback, Dakota Wesleyan. First down and 10 for the Tigers. It'll be at their own 20-yard line. With 4:24 left to go in the game over in Orange City, Viterbo still leading Dordt 74-72. Balanced scoring for the defenders again. Lorenzen with 16, Bryce Kopic with 15, Luke Rankin with 12. Viterbo has managed to stay in the ballgame largely with three-point shooting. They've made 9 of them, and they've limited Dordt to 20, and they've shot it well, 31 of 62 from the floor thus far. So we'll see how the last 4 minutes or so play out in Orange City. Austin Lee brings his offense onto the field, gets it over to Nelson, that is. Keel Nelson up the sideline, and Keel Nelson stopped at about the 24-yard line. It'll be second down and 5, so he got to the 25. Second and 5 on the 5-yard pickup for Dakota Wesleyan. Forced out of bounds. I think Grant Hixon was there, the cornerback. Ian McDonald also flowing to the football. It'll be second down and 5 for the Tigers. Keel Nelson, the leading receiver for Dakota Wesleyan. A little bit more of a downfield threat now into the wind in this quarter. Probably not the way Dakota Wesleyan would like to play it. They're playing a lot of short plays. Handoff to Arend, and Jamin Arend up the middle, and he picks up and up for a first down, and Dakota Wesleyan really needed that. Keep the ball a little bit longer into the wind. Don't give the ball right back to the defenders a third straight time.
Yeah, and it's a good example of an offense getting a little momentum now because defense got to stop and forced a punt and get back on the field quickly, and made a couple good plays.
Austin Lee hands it off to Arend. Arend up the middle, and Jamin Arend picks up 4 on the play. He's down at the 35-yard line. It'll be second down and 6. Dakota Wesleyan starting to have a little success on the ground. Second and 6 for the Tigers at the 35-yard line. 4:34 remaining here in the first quarter. Dordt leading 7-0, capitalizing on a short field, a short drive to start the contest. Sam Andrews and Jessup Leakey are your defensive tackles. Drew Dom and Cooper Hidalgo at the ends. Tyler Wieringa, your middle linebacker, also on the field. You got Jungling coming up to the line of scrimmage, covering a man to the other. You got Quads to the left. They pass it over on the far side and completed. And short of the first down, though, on the pass completion to Arend. And it's going to be third down and short for Dakota Wesleyan.
And this is a good example of what Aaron can do out in the open field. Dordt had a couple of defenders right there to make a play, but he's able to make those 2 guys miss, jump in behind a couple of blockers, and get positive yards. And now, this is where Dakota Wesleyan wants to be. They're on schedule. Now they're in a 3rd and 2 situation instead of that 3rd and extra long.
Third down and 2, 3:44 remaining in the first quarter. Lee Gets the snap, inside handoff to Aaron. Aaron's second effort, and I don't think he got it. It's going to be close. Judging by the near side. Oh, and
well, he's not even looking at the down marker, and he's waving it on.
Okay. Well, I was watching the head linesman over here, and
that was close enough where I would have liked to have seen at least a little bit of a pause, take a good hard look at it, and maybe even a measurement. But they
didn't
waved
see it that
first.
way. No.
Pretty quick.
First down and 10 for the Tigers at their own 41-yard line, and now you'll see them take their time. 12 seconds on the play clock, now 10. Lee has Aaron in the backfield with him. First down and 10 at their own 41-yard line. Lee hands it off. Aaron, the ball carrier. Aaron trying to work his way forward, stopped at the line of scrimmage, maybe the second effort. And you start doing that, second effort, this early in the ballgame that much, you're going to expend a lot of energy. And I got to think that that's going to wear on him as the game goes along this afternoon.
Yeah, but on the other hand, he's used to a lot of carries in ball games, taking the vast majority of the running plays for Dakota Wesleyan. Seems to be a guy that just finishes runs really well, falling forward a lot. So, yeah, going to be really important. Dordt has to get a lot of guys to the ball.
3 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far side. Aaron in the backfield along with Lee. Lee gets a snap. Lee back to pass. Lee looking right. Flush from the pocket. Dordt had him contained. Gets out of the grasp of one would-be tackler. Thought Jordan Gall might have had him in the backfield. Instead, he's able to squirt free. Picks up 3 yards on the play. It's going to be 3rd down and 7 for the defenders.
Yeah, really good job, though, of rallying to the quarterback who got flushed out of the pocket and took off running. You know, a lot of times you see quarterbacks get good gains on that, but the defensive unit reacted well, held him, limited his yardage. Now we're in a 3rd and 7.
3rd and 7 for Dakota Wesleyan at their own 44-yard line. Trying to move the chains into the wind. Trying to finish up the quarter with the football. 1:23 left to go in the quarter. Back to passes. Lee again hit as he makes the pass, and it's caught. Lucas Huttinga went for the interception. It's caught by Dakota Wesleyan's Preston Nedved. He falls down at the 30-yard line, and Dakota Wesleyan will have it 1st down and 10 now at the Dordt 33-yard line. Lucas Huttinga went up to make the interception. It looked like it went right through his hands and was caught by number 12, Preston Nedved. So 1st down and 10 for the Tigers. Dordt almost forces a turnover. Instead, Dakota Wesleyan now with it. My guess would be they'll run 2 more plays, and that'll be it for the quarter. They'll get the wind at their back. Lee hands it off. Aaron weaving his way forward, and Aaron picks up 8 yards on the play. It's going to be 2nd down and 1 at the Dordt 24-yard line. So Dakota Wesleyan having some success, and they don't have to run another play if they don't want to, and I think they're just going to walk to the sideline and say that's it for the quarter. That is exactly what Dakota Wesleyan will do. It'll be 2nd down and 2. We'll flip the field. Dakota Wesleyan will have the wind at their back, trailing 7-0 when we're back at Open Space Park in 1 minute. You're listening to Dordt Football on KIHK and the Dordt Media Network. Second down and short for Dakota Wesleyan at the Dordt 24-yard line. Dakota Wesleyan getting a completion near the end of the first half to extend the drive after it looked like Dordt's defense might come up with a turnover. And now Dakota Wesleyan poised They're not quite into the red zone, but close enough to make you nervous. Austin Lee engineering this drive. He's played a lot of snaps for the Dakota Wesleyan Tigers this year, the sophomore. Sends Nedved in motion left to right, and we've got a flag thrown on the play. And that's going to be on the offense as they blow the play dead. It'll be a false start, it appears, on Dakota Wesleyan.
Yeah, I'm sure that's frustrating for the Dakota Wesleyan coaching staff. You get in a situation where you're second and really short to now being in a second medium. Still on schedule in terms of what they want to do, but they liked being ahead of the sticks and being able to maybe take a shot downfield on that last play.
2nd down and 6 for Dakota Wesleyan at the Dordt 29-yard line now. Changes the complexion of this drive, possibly. Lee has Aaron to his right. Fakes the pass. He's going to run for it, and he stops short of the first down. It'll be 3rd down and a couple at the 26-yard line. Drop back. Looked like he was going to pass long enough just to freeze the defenders, and able to get forward. Picked up positive yardage. It's going to be 3rd down and 2 at the Dordt 26-yard line.
Yeah, Lee is their second leading rusher on the year. He doesn't hesitate to run the ball. Now last play, a definite designed quarterback draw.
3rd down and a couple. 2 running backs set to the right of Lee. One of them, Jamin Arend. We'll see if they just give it to Arend and see if he can pick up the needed yardage. They fake the pass, and Lee's going to go down. Cooper Hidalgo and Matt Bumgar's on the quarterback sack as the defenders bring pressure with the blitz, and Cooper Hidalgo there to finish him off, and that changes it to a 4th down and 13. The football back at the 38-yard line now. And this will be a significant field goal try if they go for it here.
And it looks like they brought the punt team.
Yep, they're going to punt. I thought maybe with the wind they would think about it, try to get some points. Instead, they're going to try for the punt and pin. So the Dordt defense helped out by a penalty and then bring pressure with a blitz, and it'll be 4th down and long for the Tigers. So the Tigers will pooch it up into the breeze, and it'll take a bounce into the end zone, and it's going to take something this afternoon to not have it go through the end zone when you got the wind at your back.
Exactly. So hard to judge that. I know the punter's trying not to get much on it, but yeah, that wind is such a factor that it's tough to control it, tough to pin offenses deep when you're punting with the wind.
Dordt will have it 1st down and 10 at the 20. Last time I checked, the men's basketball team from Dordt trailing Viterbo by 1 with under a minute to go. I don't know anything beyond that at this point. Cade McDaniel now in at quarterback for the defenders. So Cade given a little different look. He's going to check into the game for the first time this afternoon. He engineered a scoring drive last week against Morningside as well. So 1st down and 10 for the defenders with 13:27 remaining in the first half. Handoff to Welland. Welland trying to get to the outside, and Welland picks up a couple of yards on the play. It's going to be 2nd down and 8. As the defenders working into the wind, I would be surprised if you see anything significant in the way of throwing down the field, and they're going to have to find a way to counter Dakota Wesleyan's defense, who knows the exact same thing.
Yeah, exactly. And I know talking to Coach Penner this week, he really likes the way McDaniel runs the offense and runs the option. Both quarterbacks very proficient at it, so give it a little different look.
2nd down and 8. McDaniel slings it over the near side, intended for Eli Bolden, in and out of the hands of Eli Bolden on the near sideline. Wouldn't have been enough for a 1st down. Would have been a short gain on the play instead. Pass falls incomplete. It'll be 3rd down and 10.
Yeah, Dakota Wesleyan's defensive secondary really reacting well to that play. Several times we've tried to get it outside quick to our receivers. Their entire secondary swarming to the ball and making play at the line of scrimmage.
Dordt leading 7-0, but Dakota Wesleyan's defense equal to the challenge thus far. McDaniel steps up in the pocket. Pass is complete, and it's close to a 1st down. Well, if they gave the 1st down on the last drive, I would think they will to Dordt on this one, and it's just enough for a 1st down for the defenders on the completion to Isaac Looker over the middle. And he might have got a generous spot on it.
Yeah, I thought maybe most definitely out at the 31. I thought he was right at the 30, got an extra yard out of it. I think either way he had the first down.
Yeah, it was close, though. All the depends where he actually gains possession. First down and 10, handoff to Welland. Welland, the ball carrier, and Welland picks up 5 on the play. It'll be second down and 5, and that's the kind of play Dordt needs, as you say, to stay on schedule on their set of downs.
Yeah, exactly. Now the playbook's wide open for Coach Penner. He can, keep the ball on the ground. He can look for a quick pass. Really the entire playbook's wide open.
Second down and 5, second and medium, handoff to Welland. Welland, the ball carrier. Welland picks up a first down, but we've got a flag on the play, and that's thrown in the vicinity of a hold. And in all likelihood, this one's going to come back. Second down. It was second and 4, likely going to be second down and 14 unless there's something else. Nope, saw the umpire. He signals a hold, and now the Dordt players saying, no, it's going to be against Dakota Wesleyan.
Hold on, Dakota Wesleyan. So basically what you got there then is you have an offensive lineman trying to get off a block to make a second block downfield when you're double teaming inside, like on a defensive lineman. You want one of those offensive linemen to come off to a linebacker. Sometimes that defensive lineman will just grab on, try to occupy both offensive linemen. Must have got caught doing it there.
I was going to say, that really stings if you're Dakota Wesleyan.
I mean, we had a good run play anyhow.
Right. I was going to say, and that comes at the end of the play as well.
Right.
I mean, it's going to be assessed another 10 yards.
Yeah,
wow.
Getting the ball across midfield, huge play for the Dordt offense.
Dordt with it, first down and 10 now at the Dakota Wesleyan 42-yard line. Center Matt Lawson over the football. Lawson looks back to Cade McDaniel, gets it to McDaniel. McDaniel to Welland. Welland picks up 2 yards on the play, maybe just 1. It'll be second down and long for the defenders, leading 7-0 with 11:20 left to play in the first quarter.
Yeah, McDaniel was really good at running the option, making good reads. Might have missed one there. I think if he had that ball back, he would have preferred to pull it. I think he could have got outside for a good-looking play.
Second down and 9 for the defenders at the Dakota Wesleyan 41-yard line. Need the 32 for a first down handoff to Piper. Piper weaving his way forward, and Piper picks up 5 yards on the play, maybe 6. It's going to be third down and relatively short, 3rd and 3.
Yeah, and so going into the wind, you're probably thinking potentially 2 downs here. With it being so difficult to punt into the strong wind, you got to be thinking, hey, let's just try to pick up a first down here.
And in my estimation, a field goal attempt, you probably got to be at the 20 to even think about a field goal attempt this afternoon with the way the wind is blowing.
Yeah, for sure.
Cade McDaniel, football's at 35. He's going to pitch it right side over to McCormick. McCormick with the carry. McCormick picks up a first down, works his way forward, 20, and he's ridden out of bounds by Cale Stevenson. Where's the flag in the backfield? And that was away from where the play was run. They're going to adjust it so it's a spot foul, it appears. Location of the flag mattering, and the hold. This is going to be against Dordt. So negate the first down, and it'll be third down and long for the defenders. And caught with his hand in the cookie jar is Nathan Warner. Warner whistled for the hold. And that's going to set up third down and long. And I'm still not so sure you aren't in 4-down territory. Let's see if you can get 6 or 7 back and give it a good go on 4th down if you need to. Third down and 13. Personnel changes for the defenders. Welland and Piper on the field. Harkin is to the near side. Dakota Wesleyan countering. Looks like they bring Cody Winslow in from the sideline. 3rd and 13 for the defenders at Dakota Wesleyan's 45-yard line. Cade McDaniel gets the snap, fakes the handoff, looking downfield, throws over the middle, has Harkin, and underthrew it. Harkin unable to get to it. Would have been a first down. That was inside the 10. And Harkin had his man beat. He had a seam up the field. It's going to be 4th down now.
Yeah, and I think McDaniel got everything he had into that ball. That's one where Yeah, your receivers may
He's gotta
have to
come
play
back
the
to it,
wind a
yep.
little bit and come back to the ball a little bit more. Yeah, just secure the catch.
4th down and 13 for the defenders at the 45-yard line. 10 seconds on the play clock. Dordt with a late substitution, so they've got to wait to snap the football. Coons back in his own territory, gets it, puts his foot into it, line drive kick, and Aaron will let it bounce. He picks it up at the 10. And he is downed at the 13-yard line. It'll be 1st down and 10 for the Tigers at their own 13, leading 7-0. Dordt leading 7-0. Over in Orange City, it's gone final. Viterbo defeats Dordt 81-80. Looks like Bryce Kopic got a 3-point bucket attempt at the horn that was off the mark. So the defenders fall for the first time this season. Now 5-1 heading into conference play beginning on Wednesday versus Mount Marty. Women's team earlier today defeating Mayville State by 13 in a game that was played at a 20-plus point difference most of the 4th quarter. 9:51 left to go in the half. Austin Lee, the quarterback. Jamin Aaron in the backfield with him, as it has been all afternoon. Handoff to Aaron. Aaron, the ball carrier, and Aaron picks up 6 yards on the play. Looks like 7 actually out to the 21-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 3.
Yeah, now if you're Dordt's defensive secondary, you need to be heads up that play action pass. You know, at some point with Dakota Wesleyan having the wind at their back, do they try to throw a deep pass, try to get one of the receivers open over the top?
Keel Nelson comes over into the slot. Let's keep our eye on him. Jamin Aaron in the backfield. Lee, tight end, is set to the right. You've also got that halfback over on the right as well. They hand it off to Aaron. Aaron weaving his way forward, just patiently biding his time, and finds a soft spot in the defense. Picks up 5 yards on the play. It'll be a 1st down for the Tigers, trailing 7-0. 9 minutes left to play in the half. 1st down and 10 for the Tigers at their own 27-yard line. Hockey game will be starting here in about a half hour or so over at the All-Season Center. That's what we've got for athletics today. 2 basketball games in the books already. Another one being played this afternoon. We've got football this afternoon and hockey as well. Women's soccer lost last night in double overtime 4-3 to Midland in the GPAC Championship down in Fremont. Back to pass is Lee. Lee under pressure. Lee throws to the sideline. Pass is complete, but that's all there. Not much there. Completed to Fairback, and the coverage by the defenders. Is that Tyler Wieringa that got over there on the coverage for the linebacker? Yeah. It'll be 2nd down and long.
It looked like it, and yeah, Lee really had to go through his progression there. He didn't have guys open downfield, and finally had to check it down to his last option. Was able to complete it, but Dordt limited the yardage on that completion.
2nd down and 8. Lee directing traffic in the backfield. Lee back to pass, and he's going to roll left, dumps it off underneath, and pass is deflected, incomplete. Lucas Huttinga on the coverage, and he delivers a blow to the intended receiver, and that's a player that wasn't on the 2-deep this morning for Dakota Wesleyan. And the Dakota Wesleyan now facing 3rd down and long, and the Dordt defense trying to come up with a stop near the midpoint of the quarter. 2nd quarter, Dordt leading 7-0. So 3rd down and 8. Third and 8 for Dakota Wesleyan. Clock stops on the incomplete pass, and Dakota Wesleyan's going to use the timeout. This timeout brought to you by Casey's Bakery. Find your favorite bakery products at caseysbakery.com. Back with more in 1 minute.
Today's Dordt Media Network live stream broadcast is produced by the students of Dordt University. Thanks for watching.
This Dordt Media Network broadcast is brought to you by Sioux Concrete Construction. Rob Suin, owner, excelling in flat work, poured walls, decorative concrete projects, dedicated to providing customers with a good experience and quality workmanship. SiouxConcrete.com.
Well, out of the timeout, we have a flag thrown. And the question will be, did the offense draw the defense off, or did the defense jump early? And we've got a quorum now, 3 officials putting their heads together. It's either going to be 3rd down and 13 or 3rd down and 3. Obviously a big situation here.
I think this is going to go against the defense. Look like Dakota Wesleyan's bringing an extra offensive lineman into the game. Come on, fellas.
Yeah, they're going to call it on the defense. So it'll be 3rd down and 3 instead of 3rd down and 8. Now the defense put into a little more precarious position here. Football still at the Dakota Wesleyan 34-yard line, and Dakota Wesleyan, this is if they can just grind away, they want to keep the score low, and they want to keep the ball away from the Dordt offense, obviously. Dordt leading 7-0, 7:35 left to play in the half. Dordt leading 7-0. Lee gets the snap, hands it off to Aaron. Aaron squirts away from one tackler, and he's brought down at the line of scrimmage. Drew Dom on the tackle, and that's going to bring up 4th down.
Yeah, great penetration there on that play.
And that was Abe Stays, actually, first man there.
Does a great job getting in the backfield, and if you force even a good running back like Aaron to have to sidestep, get his feet stopped in the backfield, just gives everybody another opportunity to rally to him and make a play in the backfield.
Dordt sent to receive the punt, so for the first time, well, we'll see Dakota Wesleyan punting for the second time with the wind at their back. This is Sam Welch, and Welch, an end-over-end kick. This will take a Dakota Wesleyan bounce, and now trickles back Dort's way. 1st down and 10 at the 27-yard line for the defenders, and the Dordt offense will try to put a drive together here, leading 7-0. 7-0 our score, Dordt leading. Taking a look around the conference, at last check, it was Northwestern leading Jamestown, and that score 16-3, now 19-3. That is in the 3rd quarter. Other football games, Concordia leading Mount Marty 14-7. And Morningside leads Briarcliff 14-0. Doane leading Hastings 3-0. Back to pass. Colson Cruz to McCoy. McCoy can't hang on to it. In and out of the hands of Preston McCoy. It's going to be 2nd down and 10 on the incomplete pass. So the defenders sputtering a bit on offense right now. Clock stops on the incomplete pass. 6:41 left to play in the half. Dordt leading 7-0. Boy, it feels like a day like today, a second score would be really big for the defenders to play from really in front. Force Dakota Wesleyan a little bit out of their game plan. 2nd down and 10. Obviously a little ways to go for that to happen for the defenders at their own 27-yard line. Cruz with the football. Cruz fakes the pitch, and he's going to be brought down. Short gain on the play. Maybe picks up a yard. It's going to be 3rd down. 3rd down and 9. 3rd and 9 on the way for the defenders. Not a lot of excitement in this one. No big plays really up to this point.
Right, and I keep waiting for that back to break a tackle and get a big run play. But Dakota Wesleyan doing a good job of playing their responsibilities and defending pretty well.
3rd down and 9, back to passes Cruz. Cruz steps up in the pocket, has the man open. That's Looker, and Looker into Dakota Wesleyan territory to the 41-yard line. Ask and ye shall receive. We were looking for a big play, and Colson Cruz able to deliver it to Isaac Looker. And a 1st down for the defenders into Dakota Wesleyan territory.
Yeah, I really like the way Looker attacked the ball here. He got it at the high point, went up and got it over the defensive back, made a nice catch using his hands. Man, that's a big 1st down right there.
Isaac Looker this season, that's his 30th reception, I believe, factoring in a couple today, averaging 13.7 yards per carry. McCoy in motion now. Handed off. No, this is Cruz. Cruz pitches it left side over to McCoy. McCoy on the carry. Short gain on the play. It's going to be 2nd down and 9. The defenders not quite in sync with that option pitch up to this point.
Yeah, I think you're going to see Coach Penner maybe reevaluating, maybe attacking a little bit more between the tackles. Dakota Wesleyan doing a really good job of playing the the option on the outside, the quarterback and the pitch. They got a lot of guys running around in the secondary and really forcing things.
4:55 left to play in the half. Dordt leading 7-0. Colson Cruz back to pass. Cruz looking, underthrows it. Harkin comes back to it, though, at the 20-yard line. Still on his feet. Breaks a tackle to the 5. And into the end zone. Did he get there?
Yes, he did.
Touchdown defenders. I didn't know if he stepped out of bounds at the 5, but Caden Harkin slithers out of the tackle after making the reception out near the 20-yard line. Would have been a first down, but the defenders go into the air. And here we'll see the replay of it. Well, Colson Cruz looking downfield, thought it might have been underthrown. This time Harkin comes back to it, and the would-be tackler at the 22-yard line would have limited the damage there. And Harkin up the sideline, works his way into the end zone, and now Dordt kicking for a 14-0 lead into the wind. Stephen Leinen on to attempt the point after try. Leinen, his 37th point after try this season. Snap is down, kick is up, and the kick is good, and the Dordt defenders now playing with a 2-score lead, 14-0, 4:35 left to play in the half. Back with more in 1 minute.
Hi, my name is Samantha Wilbur.
Hi, my name is Philip Shippey.
Hey, my name is Eli Levtinsky from Cedar Rapids, Iowa.
I am from Pregame, Iowa.
I'm from Sioux Center, Iowa.
Shout out to my family back home and my girlfriend for just supporting me throughout my college experience. It really means a lot.
My favorite part about working for this is making these promos and stuff that you see during commercial breaks.
And you're watching the Dordt Media Network.
And you're watching the Dordt Media Network.
Thanks for watching the Dordt Media Network.
Today's broadcast brought to you by German Farmers Mutual, protecting the farm and home since 1981. Northwest Iowa's local insurance partner, online at germanfarmers.com. Today's broadcast is sponsored by Northside Body Shop. When you expect the very best in the repair of your vehicle, call Northside Body Shop Limited today, serving the Sioux Center area since 1955. 712-722-2313.
Dordt capitalizes with a Colson Cruz to Caden Harkin 40-yard scoring strike, the 4th completion for Cruz this afternoon. And Harkin goes the distance, his 2nd catch of the day. He and Isaac Looker, the Washington receivers, making a couple of catches each so far this afternoon, and those are 2 that we hadn't heard a lot from in the last couple of weeks. Part of that is the defensive secondary from Morningside makes you not hear a lot about some receivers, but here this afternoon, both being big factors here early on.
Yeah, and both guys have done a good job of coming back to the ball as we're throwing the ball into the wind, make things a little bit more difficult. But they've made some nice plays.
Keel Nelson will take it at the 10 to the 15, and he is forced out of bounds at the 28-yard line. So now you start looking at the clock. 4:30 left to go. If you're Dordt, if you get the ball back one more time, you've got all 3 timeouts remaining, and you might think about using them even to preserve the clock early on if Dakota Wesleyan is faced with a 2nd and long or 3rd and medium and keep the time, because I'm thinking Dakota Wesleyan, I don't know, we'll see on these first series what they do, but they might just try to get into the halftime down 14-0.
Yeah, you talked about that 2nd score being huge, and it is. But man, if we can get a 3rd, go up 3 scores before the end of the half, boy, that puts Dakota Wesleyan, a team that hasn't necessarily scored real well in a lot of their ball games. They've put up big numbers in a few, and then it's either it seems like either feast or famine a little bit. But it looked like Aaron's got hurt on that last run play.
Yeah, and he was ducking and dodging, and Jessup Leakey, just a man, just occupies his offensive tackle, offensive guard, almost throws him into Jamin Aaron. So Aaron shaken up on the play. Dakota Wesleyan back to pass is Lee. Lee flares it out to the far side to Nelson, and Keel Nelson with the catch and maybe picked up a first down in the process. It'll be a first down for the Tigers. 1st and 10 on the 2nd and 12 situation, so they pick up 12 yards, pick up a first down, and Dakota Wesleyan now with it at their own 38-yard line, 3:25 left to play in the quarter.
Yeah, a really good second effort there. Looked like Hixon had an opportunity to maybe limit the yardage on that completion. But, yeah, you get a good, big wide receiver, and they make plays sometimes, and he was able to break a tackle and pick up a first down.
Kobe Kaiser in at running back now for Dakota Wesleyan in place of Jamin Arend. We'll see if Arend returns. Pass is complete, and Grant Hixon, you just talked about him having a great year thus far. Preston Nedved the catch, a loss of 1 on the play, and it'll be 2nd down and 11. Grant Hixon will be the subject of our halftime interview, talking to the senior, and here we see the defenders using a timeout to do just exactly that, to preserve the clock after Grant Hixon makes that tackle. This timeout is brought to you by Casey's Bakery. Find your favorite bakery products at caseysbakery.com. Back with more in 1 minute.
At Premier Communications, we're all about connection. Connecting you to all the entertainment, work, and family you love with our phone, internet, cable TV, and tech support services. And now, that connection has gotten even faster with internet speeds up to 1 gig. Experience the next level of connection with Premier Communications. Visit us online at mypremieronline.com or call toll-free 800-741-8351. Premier Communications. Looking ahead.
Jamin Arend checks back into the football game, and he is thrown for a loss. It'll be 3rd down and 11, so he was shaken up, comes back into the game. We have another timeout, and we're going to tell you that it's brought to you by Casey's Bakery. Find your favorite bakery products at caseysbakery.com. Now, something else I've noticed this year is the officials aren't giving us a full minute at timeouts either. So we're going to keep it here because we're 2:46 left to go in the half. Dordt leading 14-0. Don't want to miss this 3rd down try for Dakota Wesleyan. So Dordt's used up 2 of their 3 timeouts, and as you have taught me, there's no way to get the time back on the clock, so you preserve the time and then you manage things with the ball if you're out of timeouts.
Yeah, exactly. You know, defensively you have no control about, you know, what the opposing offense is going to do, what type of play they're going to run. So if they're going to keep the clock moving with run plays or short pass, completed passes, that's when you want to use your timeouts because you have more control when you have the ball offensively.
3rd down and 11 for Dakota Wesleyan. Arend is on the field again, so Jamin Arend is in the backfield. Austin Lee looks to the sideline. 2 receivers to the right, 2 to the left. And they're looking for a first down. They need their own 48-yard line. That's the line to gain. Back to pass is Lee. Lee stumbles, and he's tripped up on the play. Dordt with a quarterback sack. The 3rd quarterback sack, I believe, this afternoon for the defenders, and an additional loss of 7 yards on the play. And getting credit for that sack, the turf will get the credit on that one. That one's going to go to the team. It'll be interesting to see who our stat crew gives that one to, but the defenders forcing Dakota Wesleyan into a 4th down situation, and they use their 3rd timeout.
Yeah, and defensive line did a great job staying in their rush lanes and really compressing the pocket where the quarterback really didn't have a place to run or go. It looked like he kind of tackled himself there, tripped, but I think we had some guys ready to make a play.
Thomas McCullough is back at his own 25-yard line. Welch puts his foot into it, a booming kick, driving McCullough back to his own 25-yard line, heads to the left, now back to the right, and he's brought down at the 28-yard line. It'll be 1st down and 10 for the defenders with 2:30 left to go in the half, and Dakota Wesleyan, now they're in the situation where can they stop the Dordt offense? They've got 2 timeouts left, and if they can force Dordt to kick into the wind, you might pick up 20, 30 yards in terms of exchange of possessions.
Yeah, this is a big series here for the Dordt offense. You don't necessarily have to score, but at the very least, you'd like to finish the half with the ball in your offense's hands.
First down and 10 for the defenders at their own 29-yard line. Cruz looking left. He's going to keep it himself, dodges a tackler. He's to the 30, to the 35, and falls forward to the 36-yard line. Dordt will have to hustle. 2:22 left to play in the first half. Dordt leading 14-0. Second down and 3 at the 36-yard line. And Cruz gets the troops up to the line of scrimmage. Took about 20 seconds to get the ball set and to get the play in, and now the clock will stop as the sticks move. 1:56 remaining. Pick up first downs. You're obviously helped out by that, and if your offense is in sync, you can get almost set before you don't burn much time off of the clock. First down and 10 for the defenders. Handoff again to Wellen. Wellen picks up 5 on the play. It's going to be second down and long.
Yeah, I think now that you've approached midfield, maybe you pick up one more first down. You might see us throwing it a little bit more.
So second down and 6. We had movement on the line of scrimmage. No call made, and that one's underthrown, and it's intercepted at the 45-yard line. And the Dakota Wesleyan Tigers with an interception near midfield, and they get the football back, and that's one where you wish the play would have been blown dead because we did have movement on the near side. Looked like Dordt had a false start, no call made, and that pass flutters up into the wind, and an interception for Dakota Wesleyan.
Yeah, Cruz didn't get everything on that throw, and then when it hangs up thrown into the wind, it just kind of hung up there. Dakota Wesleyan defender able to play the ball well.
Grayson Hansen with the interception, his second of the year for the Tigers. Didn't have to do a whole lot for that one. The defenders send the defense out onto the field, see if they can get the football back. Lee in the pistol, back to pass. Pass to the sideline, and it's complete to Adam DeYoung. So second down. Beg your pardon for Dakota Wesleyan. That's Cole Holden. I was looking at the defensive numbers, offensive numbers there for Cole Holden. Second down and 3 for the Tigers. 1:17 left to go in the half. They're looking to get a score on the board, and the pass is incomplete. Intended for Holden. Jungling was there waiting for the ball to arrive. He was going to deliver a blow. Second down and, third down now and 3 at the Dakota Wesleyan, at the Dordt 44-yard line. So 1:13 left to play in the half. Third down and 3 at the Dordt 44-yard line. Dakota Wesleyan probably 10 to 15 yards out of field goal range at this point. Third down and 3. They've got a couple of timeouts if they want to use them. Handoff to Arend, and Arend is stopped. Little or no gain on the play. Tyler Waring on the tackle. And it's going to be fourth down and short, and decision time for Dakota Wesleyan. 1 minute remaining. They'll take their time making this decision. Might run it down. They can take it down to about a half a minute left to go in the half. Maybe throw one down the field, see if you can get into field goal range. If not, turn it over on downs, and Dordt wouldn't have a lot of time to work with. They do have 2 timeouts remaining as well. And we're down to 35 seconds now, and they'll let the clock wind down to under 30, and they'll call a timeout. This timeout brought to you by Casey's Bakery. Find your favorite bakery products at caseysbakery.com. Back with more in 1 minute.
Today's Dordt Media Network live stream broadcast is produced by the students of Dordt University.
And brought to you by Pizza Ranch, buffet, carry out, or delivery.
Joyner and Svort Dentistry, providing the latest in dental technology in a warm, comfortable, and relaxing environment. And brought to you by Ployne Publishing, quality printing from design to delivery. Ployne Publishing.
4th down and 2 with 30 seconds remaining, and Dakota Wesleyan. The football moved actually. So they're going to be set again with the football at the Dordt 43-yard line. 4th down and 2 for the Tigers. Aaron in the backfield along with Lee. And looks like Dordt might have jumped. Might be 5 free yards for Dakota Wesleyan. And that'll be a 1st down for the Tigers now with 1 timeout remaining. So didn't have to run a play. They get a 1st down. From this point, it would be a 57-yard field goal, give or take. I don't think that would be in the cards, but you never know. Jackson Patrick, the kicker for Dakota Wesleyan, his long up to this point 39 yards, but he does have a stiff breeze at his back. 1st down and 10 for the for the Tigers at the Dordt 38-yard line. They've got 1 timeout remaining. They'll work the edges, I would guess, trying to get out of bounds. Dordt defense thought there was movement by the Dakota Wesleyan receiver. Back to pass is Lee. Lee steps up in the pocket. Pass is complete. And they're now into field goal territory down to the 15-yard line. 23 seconds remaining. And Dakota Wesleyan will use their final timeout. No, they keep it. Well, now they do signal timeout. Timeout on the field. Charge to Dakota Wesleyan. This timeout brought to you by Casey's Bakery. Find your favorite bakery products at caseysbakery.com. Back with more in a minute.
Thanks to these Dordt Media Network sponsors, Ski Bout Window and Door, your local window experts. Whether building or replacing, we have the products, people, and knowledge to get the job done right. See Ski Bout and see the difference. Ski Bout Window and Door.
Thanks to M&H True Value. Behind every project is a true value. Start right, start here. M&H True Value.
Dakota Wesleyan 1st down and 10 at the 17-yard line of the Dordt defenders. 23 seconds remaining. Both teams are out of timeouts. Lee sends a man in motion. Lee back to pass. Lee looking. He's flushed from the pocket, heading to the sideline, right side, and the pass is complete but kept in bounds. Did he get a 1st down? He did, so the clock will stop for the moment. 14 seconds remaining. Now Dakota Wesleyan, they've got to manage the clock. No timeouts left. 1st down and goal to go at the 5, and they'll spike it. Austin Lee kills the clock with 10 seconds remaining. Dakota Wesleyan trying to sneak in a score here right before the half. Obviously, with the wind at their back, this would be a chip shot for a field goal. Ten seconds remaining in the half. And back to pass, and the pass to the end zone, incomplete. It'll be 3rd down. 3rd down and goal to go as they throw it away out of the end zone. So 7 seconds remaining. Dakota Wesleyan, they've got to throw it into the end zone. You either need a touchdown or an incompletion. Dordt leading 14-0. Dakota Wesleyan trying to get points on the board before the half comes to a close. 7 seconds remaining. Lee looking to the sideline. And Lee gets the snap. He's looking left. Steps up, throws towards the end zone, and it's out of the end zone, incomplete. It'll be 4th down, and Dakota Wesleyan will settle for a field goal try. So 4th down and goal to go, still from the 5. This will be a 22-yard field goal attempt. And kicking the field goal is Jackson Patrick. He's 8 of 11 this season, and this one is up and splits the uprights. And Dakota Wesleyan is on the board, 14-3, as the first half comes to an end. Dakota Wesleyan gets points on the last play of the drive, on the last play of the half, and Dakota Wesleyan trailing now 14-3. Let's take a 1-minute break, and we'll be back with the comments from Coach Penner right before half in 1 minute. Today's broadcast is brought to you by Rental. Get ready to power up your projects with equipment rentals from Rental. From heavy-duty machinery to the latest power tools, they've got the gear to make your project a success. Visit them online at rental.com or call 712-722-3928. Today's broadcast is brought to you by New Tech. At New Tech, they don't just sell equipment, they deliver performance, reliability, and innovation. Their team of experts is there to guide you every step of the way, ensuring you find the perfect equipment for your needs.
At the half with Dordt head coach Joel Penner. Coach, started the game off almost picture perfect, forced a 3 and out, get a score, and then it was a little bit of a battle after that, but getting the second touchdown, good passing game. How do you feel about the first half so far?
Yeah, I mean, it's like most halves, it's an up and down thing. So a lot of things we can say great job to, and a lot of things we need to go back and challenge our guys a little bit. I think we're in a good spot. Dordt football is all about the next play, doing the next thing right. That's what we got to focus on.
Yeah, so bringing up the second half, big, 2-score lead going into the half. What do you have to do to kind of maintain the lead and finish this thing with a win?
I think it's as simple as don't turn it over. Our defense is playing great. We're moving the ball on offense. Don't turn it over.
Sounds great, Coach. Good luck in the second half. And we're at the half here at Sioux Center with Dordt leading 14-3.
Nice job, man. Well done. Okay, Sam, I got to go over to hockey and bring this mic. Okay.
We'll get to the halftime numbers in just a moment on the Dordt Media Network. About 30 seconds away from that. Waiting to join things up with our radio broadcast. We're back at halftime. The Dordt defenders leading Dakota Wesleyan 14-3. The defenders looking at what could have been. Dakota Wesleyan dodges a bullet at the end of the first half and get on the board. 14-3 our score. Brendan Piper started the scoring for the defenders with a 3-yard rush with 10:16 left to go in the first period after Dordt's defense came up with a stop on the first drive, forced a punt into the wind, and the defenders led 7-0. Colson Cruz then a completion to Caden Harkin with 4:35 left to go in the first half, making it 14-0 after the Stephen Linen kick. Dordt forced another punt, this one with the win by Dakota Wesleyan. They pinned Dordt deep in their own territory, started at about their own 25-yard line or so. Eventually, the defenders threw an interception into the wind, and Dakota Wesleyan takes advantage of the 50-yard field to work with. Jackson Patrick, a 22-yard field goal attempt as time expires. 14-3 our score at halftime. The defenders, Colson Cruz, 4 of 8 passing, 78 yards, a touchdown and a pick. Rushing, Preston McCoy, 3 carries, 32 yards. Nick Wellen, 6 carries, 29 yards. Connor Dodd, 3 for 19. Colson Cruz, 3 for 14. And Brendan Piper, 4 for 12. Receiving the defenders, Isaac Looker and Caden Harkin with 2 catches each for 39 and 40 yards respectively. For Dakota Wesleyan, Austin Lee, 10 of 17 passing, 85 yards. Jamin Arend, 14 carries for 29 yards. He also has a catch for 4 yards. Cole Holden, 2 catches for 29 yards. Keel Nelson, 3 catches for 17 yards. Preston Nedved, 2 for 22. Logan Fearback with 2 for 13. The defenders had 2 quarterback sacks in the first half. A combined sack by Cooper Hidalgo and Matt Bumgars, and a quarterback sack for Abe Stace as well. Dordt also with a total of 5 tackles, make that 6 tackles for a loss. 14-3, defenders leading Dakota Wesleyan at halftime in GPAC football. We'll come back with a look at our scoreboard as well before the half comes to an end. But we're going to take a 3-minute break now here, a 3-minute break, and we will be back and we will check in with Grant Hixon and for the Spotlight Football Senior right after this 3-minute timeout.
Hello, Dordt University sports fans. Hope you're enjoying the game, whether you're a family or friend of a player or coach or a fan of the university. Now, these players and coaches have put in hours and hours of practice, and it shows. But there's one more thing that every coach makes sure the team has: a game plan. And if these players and coaches are willing to put this much effort into a game, how much more important is a game plan for your financial life? Now, the financial world continually becomes more complicated, and we keep ourselves plenty busy. And even if we have precious free time, most of us don't want to spend it wrangling over financial decisions, reading financial journals, or studying the latest tax legislation. But if you don't have either the time or the desire to spend hours upon hours learning and keeping up with the changing rules of the game in the financial world, and then figuring out how that applies specifically to your financial life, you don't have to do it alone. For over 40 years, Money Concepts, the planning firm here in Sioux Center, has been helping households to build their financial game plan upon all the things in life more important than finances. Because there's things in life more important than money, and none of them are things. I'm Tom DeYoung, financial planner and president of Money Concepts, the planning firm. Check us out on the web or social media, or schedule an intro meeting to see how a financial game plan might benefit you. We'll help you build your finances on all the things in life more important than finances, while being a good steward of the resources God has entrusted to your care. And check out our Money Concepts Radio podcast at moneyconceptsradio.com or on your favorite podcast app, where we dive into the relevant financial planning topics to bring clarity to the often confusing, ever-changing rules of the game in the financial world. Enjoy the rest of the game, and remember to spend your most valuable resources, your time and your attention, on the things in life that matter more than money. And go Defenders!
We are going to visit with Grant Hixon. He is a cornerback on the Dordt University football team. And Grant, your team off to a great start. We're talking midweek and 7-2 at this point. Where did those first 9 weeks go, Grant? They've just flown by.
Man, yeah, they flew by real fast.
How was the summer for you? What did you do this summer before the season began? What were you doing this summer?
Yeah, so I was involved with a buddy of mine that was had his own company that's through U-Haul.
Okay.
So I was a mover basically. So U-Haul people would call me and I'd go move their stuff, and that's basically all I do. So pretty much lifting for the summer for the job.
So you're a professional mover now. You can add that to the resume.
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
Yeah. Did you get some training in as well? I mean, you jokingly, tongue in cheek, you were doing weightlifting with the furniture moving and things like that. What's the training schedule look like as well for you?
Yeah, so I'd usually have jobs about 8 a.m. started and probably go till, depending on the day, how many jobs we had, probably till 5.
Oh, really?
Really, some days it'd be one job and I'd be out of there, and then I'd go hit the gym. My coach, actually, he's strength coach. He had his own gym. He's kind of gone away from that. So that's where I grew up, in his gym.
Okay.
But he has, now out at his house, he has basically a gym. There's 4 racks out there, so I kind of spend a lot of time in there.
When you came in as a freshman, was that the thing that you had to do? Get stronger, more explosive? What did you have to do?
Yeah, absolutely. I was definitely undersized coming in as a freshman. So I focused a lot on my squats, my cleans, and my bench, just everything, those foundational lifts to make me a faster, more explosive athlete, so I could compete at this level.
Indianola, Iowa. That is South Des Moines, correct?
Correct.
How'd you end up here? What's the story?
Yeah, I really didn't know anything about Dordt. I heard of Morningside and Northwestern, places like that before. But one of my buddies, my quarterback actually, he came into contact with Brandon McCormick, our defensive coordinator. And he really loved it here, actually. And he brought me up for one of the camps up here in the summer. And then after that, I just kind of fell in love with it, and I had no question this is where I was supposed to be. So,
what are you studying while you're here?
Yeah, I'm an exercise science major.
Yep.
HHP is what we call it here.
Right.
Yeah.
Hopes of doing what? The first 3.5 years have been preparation for the next year, basically. What are you doing next semester?
Yeah, next semester I've taken an internship opportunity at University of Kansas as a strength and conditioning coach. So I'm going to be with the football team there at Kansas, and I'll be hands-on coaching and learning, going to meetings and everything with those coaches. So yeah, great Division I experience with the highest athletes in the country, really. So
how did you get connected with Kansas?
My buddy, the defensive line here, Sam Andrews, he was there last semester, so he loved it there, and I decided why not go there if he had that much fun, and great experience for him there. So
Jayhawks are having a pretty good year.
They sure are, yeah.
So have you been following them at all?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm an Iowa fan, so
sure.
They're having a great year too, actually,
right.
But things going on over there or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've definitely been more of a Kansas fan this year, just because I know I'm gonna invest some time into those guys that are there right now. So it's cool to see what they're doing right now before I'm even there.
When you look back, and I jokingly say to people, I had someone else come in, I think it was yesterday, and I said, where did all that time, where did those 4 years go? I think it was a volleyball player, and it goes by quickly. Do you take time at all to reflect on what you were like as a freshman coming in, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally, in the transition, and how you're a different person now? Do you think about that at all?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So then the next natural question, and I didn't ask it that well, but what are those changes? What do you see? How have you changed, Grant?
Yeah, I mean, if it weren't for the coaches that I'm playing under, I don't know where I'd be mentally. I came in pretty I don't even know what to say.
Absorbed?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay.
Yeah, I just wasn't very confident in myself either.
Okay.
So yeah, they've instilled a lot of confidence in me, not just because they know I'm a good football player and not that they've made me a good football player, but as a Christian, they've taught me to look at life and look at things like football that happen in life, that doesn't define who I am, that the Lord defines who I am. So that's probably the biggest thing I'd say is, one, my confidence, and then that things that happen like in football aren't the things that are going to define me in life, and that I always have another opportunity to do the next thing right, really.
You had a breakthrough last year, it seemed like, especially in special teams, where you played with it's overused, reckless abandon.
Yep.
I prefer freedom.
Yes.
I mean, just you don't worry. You've been trained, you go out and do it. Why were you able to make that jump last year? Did something click? And if so, what was that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously just being here for the time I've been here, I've been playing for quite the time that I've been here. So the experience is one thing, but really what made it click is just coaches pouring into you. And yeah, they always talk about us being able to play free because we're Christians, and like if we fail, we have the opportunity to do the next thing right, and it doesn't define us if we fail. And just knowing that in the back of my mind, I just go out there and have fun. Having fun is one of the biggest things that we talk about as a team. If you're not having fun, like why are you even playing football? Because you came here to have fun because you love football. So
yeah, you only get one coach pointed it out to me. He said we get 10 Saturdays more if you're fortunate. I mean, if you make playoffs, things like that. It's a lot of work for those 10 Saturdays. You better enjoy it, and you do. Do you want to coach football ever in the future? You want to go strength and conditioning? What are you thinking?
Yeah, definitely strength and conditioning. I would love to coach football. I don't know what kind of level that's going to be for me. But yeah, absolutely. I want to be able to bring my passion and give it to other people and other young athletes.
That is that's Grant Hixon talking about his experience at Dordt, and I think we've got some highlights to go through as well. So back in the Dordt Media Network truck, I know we went through the stats and things like that, but if you've got those highlights, those People's Bank highlights to run, we can do those. Otherwise, I'm going to assume that those have been completed already. And based on the fact that I'm not seeing those highlights come up, I'm going to assume that those were run during the senior interview. And we're going to move on with our preparation for the second half of today's contest. And Kyle Achterhoff for the Dordt defenders this afternoon. 14-3 lead. Now the decision comes, okay, Dordt deferred to the second half. And I would guess they're going to want to receive, but then you have the decision of what to do with the wind on a breezy Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, it's I think really the only other option for the defenders would be to kick with take the wind in the third quarter and try to pin Dakota Wesleyan, start the second half very similar to how you did the first half. But you don't necessarily want to give up a possession either. So, I'm assuming that Coach Penner said we'll take the ball, and then you put it back into Dakota Wesleyan's hands. All right, now what do you want to do? Do you want the wind now or in the fourth quarter? Logical thinking would be, hey, take the wind now because, You don't necessarily want to be kicking off into the breeze to start the half, but it's different trains of thought, so it'll be interesting to see what happens here.
And maybe we're overthinking things as well. We are prone to do that. Today's pregame and postgame shows brought to you by Wireless World, your local Verizon authorized retailer with 7 locations in Northwest Iowa. You can visit them at wirelessworld.com. We're about a minute away from the start of the second half. Recapping earlier today, women's basketball, the Dordt Defender women getting a win over Mayville State by a final of 81-68. In the men's contest, Viterbo upsets Dordt 81-80. The final there. Taking a look at the scores from around the league, we have in football play, Morningside leading Briarcliff 20-8. In the bottom of the 7th inning, Doane leads Hastings 3-2. Concordia leading Mount Marty 28-14. And Northwestern up on Jamestown 40-11. So it certainly appears, and that's with 8 minutes remaining. Looks like Northwestern's going to run the table in the GPAC. Right now, Morningside and Dordt tied for second, and they both lead at halftime, with Morningside and Briarcliff actually underway with the third quarter. They have 13:37 remaining in the third period. So Dakota Wesleyan is going to want the wind in the fourth quarter. Dordt will have the football and the wind to start the second half of this contest. McCoy and Dodd back to receive for the defenders at the 15-yard line. They're going to take another 5-yard step up to the 20. Got to be, actually, you've got to watch for the squib or just something cute like that here. You probably don't feel like you have a lot to risk, so
yeah,
we'll see what Dakota Wesleyan decides here.
Or we've seen in other games, too, when teams are kicking into the wind, kind of that high kick that sometimes gets misplayed.
Yep.
But Dakota Wesleyan's probably going to have to hold here. Ball keeps blowing off the tee. But so our up backs have to be heads up, maybe fair catch it even if it's a high short kick.
And wind is actually stronger now than it was earlier. And we've seen it when it gets high into the air, it almost begins blowing backwards. We watched some of the kickers for both teams kicking field goals at halftime, and once it gets up into the air, it almost comes back towards you from the south. Line drive kicks, so all of that, and it ends up with McCoy with it at the 18-yard line to the 20, 25. Stumbles to the outside 30, 35, and pushed out of bounds at the 37-yard line, and that is where Dordt will start. First down and 10 at their own 37-yard line. 14:55 left to play in the third period. Dordt leading 14-3. So the defenders give up a late score at the end of the first half. Still a 2-score difference, though, and
right.
Once it became evident Dakota Wesleyan was going to have a chance to score, you want to limit the damage, and Dordt was able to do that at halftime.
Yeah, I really needed to keep them out of the end zone to maintain that 2-score lead, so good job by the defense forcing a field goal.
First down and 10 for the defenders. And the handoff to Piper, and we've got a flag on the play, thrown in the vicinity of a hold in all likelihood. Cade McDaniel back in at quarterback for the defenders. It'll be second down and long. Just depends how long, and it looks like it's going to be second and substantial here, as this one's going to get stepped off against the defenders, and that's going to be a 10-yard penalty, and set up first down and 20. I am always amazed at, from one week to the next, you can have a penalty, you can have a holding penalty. I think this is the third one by the defenders today. I don't think we had one last week against Morningside.
Yeah, really a different philosophy by different officials, and that's probably the biggest frustration for coaches. If there was a level of consistency within the league, then you know what to expect, and you know how to coach your players to that expectation. But yeah, when you don't really know one week to the next how it's going to be called up front, that's hard to adjust to.
So first down and 20. It should be second down now and 16. So a gain of 4 on the play for Brendan Piper, and Dakota Wesleyan coming up to the line of scrimmage, almost daring the defenders throw the ball down the field again. Second down and 16. McDaniel. Ball's down on the turf, picked up by Piper. Piper dodges a tackler, and he's back to the original line of scrimmage, and the ball comes out as well. So a fumble on the play by the defenders, and this one playing out exactly how Dakota Wesleyan would like, because they've got the football back. Adam DeYoung on the fumble recovery, and Dordt turns it over, and that play, football was down on the turf. Piper picked it up, maybe never got a good handle on it. thrown off timing. And now Dakota Wesleyan with the football, first down and 10 at the Dordt 37-yard line. And the defense is going to have to prove their mettle once again here this afternoon.
Yeah, and if you saw the interview at halftime on the Dordt Media Network with Coach Penner, I asked, what do we have to do in the second half to put this one away and to seal the victory? And he said, well, first thing is we can't turn the ball over. So not a great start here in the second half.
See if the Dordt defenders can get the football back. They hand it off to Aaron. Aaron, the ball carrier, and Aaron, short gain on the play, maybe picks up 3 down to the 34-yard line of the Dordt defenders into the breeze. So it's going to take quite something to get into field goal position here. You've got to get down to about the 10, I would say, for 10 to 15-yard line for a legitimate field goal attempt here this afternoon into the breeze out of the south. It's second down and 7. Football at the 34-yard line.
Yeah, so you got to be thinking from Dakota Wesleyan there, they're thinking 4-down territory, use all of them to pick up this first down.
Second down and 7 for the Tigers. Lee, Dordt showing pressure from the edge. They hand it off to, Lee keeps it himself. Lee with it, and we've got a flag on the play as well. And that was thrown on the far side. He doesn't pick up much, does Lee. And it's, I think if that's against Dakota Wesleyan, I think you take the play if you can.
Oh, they must be an offside. Somebody must have lined up offsides, assuming.
Dakota Wesleyan signaling that it's against the defenders. So they say that was Abe Stace who came and showed pressure on the edge. They say that he lined up off sides, and it's going to set up second down and 2 now, so that changes the complexion of this drive. Dakota Wesleyan with it, this set of downs at least. Second down and 2, football at the 29-yard line. Second down and 2 for the Tigers, trailing 14-3. Dordt's defense trying to come up and make a stop here to start the second half after turning the ball over. Aaron to the edge. Aaron runs over a tackle attempt by Drew Dom. And it's a first down for the Tigers at the Dordt 25-yard line. 14-3, our score remains. And Aaron bounces to the outside that time. One of the rare times he's been able to find a lot of room to work this afternoon. Limited to 20-some yards in the first half. He's got he's got 38 now, a net of 29. So still struggling to get it together. But Dakota Wesleyan in Dordt territory, grinding out a drive.
Yeah, and what they're thinking right now is, just burn a lot of clock. Hopefully keep this drive going and end up with some points.
Nelson takes it on the sweep, and nothing there. Dordt has that pretty well sniffed out, and Keel Nelson looking for, I'm looking for a variation off of that play because Keel Nelson, Dordt flowed right with it, and nobody was tricked on that.
Right, yeah, I'm guessing that off of that play, Lee, the Dakota Wesleyan quarterback, will have an option at some point to pull that with some type of inside quarterback run because Dort's getting so much flow that you might have Dakota Wesleyan might attack something backside.
Second down and 11 after a loss on the play. 11:45 and counting, third quarter. Jamin Aaron in motion. Back to pass is Lee. Lee dumps it off to Aaron. Aaron, the ball carrier. Aaron up the sideline. Short gain on the play down to the Dordt 21-yard line. It'll be third down. Third down and 6. Well, 3rd and 5. They need the 15 for a first down. 11:17 left to play.
Yeah, Dakota Wesleyan just looking for different ways where they can get their playmaker, Aaron, the ball kind of in the open field. And, that pass play was pretty much designed to be thrown to him outside.
Third down and 5. Football at the 20-yard line. Lee gets the snap, hands it off to Aaron. No, keeps it himself, does Lee. Lee's got the first down. He's to the 10-yard line and brought down at the 10. And it's going to be first and goal to go for the Tigers as the Tigers threatening here on their first possession of the second half. Well, now you've got the Dordt defense needs to bow up, make a stop, limit the damage here potentially. Ball at the 10-yard line. Nothing's going to be a sure thing today in terms of a field goal try, so the defenders, anything you can do here on defense to make that a longer try potentially. Aaron in the backfield along with Lee again. 2 receivers set to the right. Nelson is to the left by himself, short side of the field. Handoff inside to Aaron. Aaron, the ball carrier. Aaron slips away from a tackle, picks up maybe 2 yards on the play. It's going to be 2nd down and goal to go from the 8.
Yeah, he's a good running back. You know, there was a play where he had an opportunity maybe to get him in the backfield for no gain. He just has a way of slipping off and at the very least, falling forward for a couple yards. So going to be tough to keep him contained throughout the second half.
2nd down and 8. Austin Lee barking signals, and we've got movement, and the Dordt defense just a little bit keyed up this afternoon, it seems. We've seen that a couple different times today. Just want to make the play, and we've had a couple instances now where they leave early. And that's going to be half of the distance to the goal, I believe. Not going to matter a whole lot. Going to go from the 8 down to the 4, so rather than the 3, so they get the benefit of that. 2nd down and goal to go now from the 4. Dakota Wesleyan taking advantage of the penalty. Lee up to the line of scrimmage. 2nd down, goal to go. And Lee back to pass, flush from the pocket, and he's going to be dropped short of the goal line. Maybe gets back to the original line of scrimmage for that play. It's going to be 3rd down and goal to go.
Yeah, it almost looked like a design quarterback draw because, boy, he didn't take much time looking downfield, and there wasn't a lot of pressure.
No.
And maybe he's just a little jittery with the amount of pressure that is usually expected from the Dordt defensive line.
3rd down, goal to go, still from the 5-yard line.
Really got to be heads up here, any type of trick play.
You got Nelson now lining up in the Wildcat. And Nelson, remember, he was a quarterback a couple of years ago. Send a man in motion, fakes the handoff. He's going to keep it himself, and he's brought down. Dort's trying to strip the football. His second effort, moved the pile, got to the 3-yard line before he's forced backwards, and that's going to bring up 4th down and goal to go. And Dakota Wesleyan, it appears, will settle for a field goal try with Jackson Patrick again, trying for his 2nd field goal and could potentially bring this to a 1-score ball game.
Yeah, really had defended that play really well, but should have been down probably outside the 5-yard line, but Dakota Wesleyan got a good push, able to get it, down to the 3-yard.
Jackson Patrick now to try a 20-yarder. Should be within his range here. Snap is down, and the kick is up, and the kick is through the uprights. And Dakota Wesleyan scores another 3. 14-6 our score. 7:51 left to play. 3rd quarter. Dordt by 8. Dordt getting the kickoff when we're back in 1 minute.
This live stream broadcast brought to you by Napa Auto Parts in Sioux Center, your source for quality automotive parts for your car or truck. Let them use their knowledge to help you find the right vehicle battery, brakes, filters, headlights, wipers, and other parts needed to get your job done. Napa Auto Parts in Sioux Center.
Special thanks to all our Dordt Media Network sponsors. Volink Enterprises Incorporated, building homes for families and businesses in Northwest Iowa since 1962. Let's work together to bring your vision into reality. Volink Enterprises Incorporated. Today's broadcast is brought to you by the Van Engelenhoven Agency, your trusted independent insurance agency throughout Northwest Iowa. Contact the Van Engelenhoven Agency Sioux Center advisors Mark Holsoff or Lisa Dykstra.
Kicking off for Dakota Wesleyan. They'll tee it up into the wind, and again, it'll be Jackson Patrick. Now, I still think at some point you're going to see something out of the ordinary with a kickoff here into the wind. Maybe this is the time they try it. Dordt has 5 players up right at the 10 yards from the kick, and again a high kick taken by Dodd. Dodd at the 20 to the 25 to the 30 and brought down at the 32-yard line, and the Dordt defenders will set up shop. 7:46 left to go in the third quarter, leading 14-8. First down and 10 at their own 36. I beg your pardon, 33-yard line. So first down and 10 for the defenders. Cade McDaniel in at quarterback again. So first and 10 at the 33-yard line. McDaniel turns, hands, gives to McCoy. McCoy, the ball carrier, and McCoy follows the right side of the line. Picks up 5 yards on the play. Second down and 4, and this is a time of the game where the offensive line has to flex their muscle a little bit.
Exactly. You know, it's so tempting when you have the wind and you think you have to take advantage of the wind, and sometimes you get away from what
you do who
well.
You are, yeah.
And, sometimes you just got to say, we got one of the best offensive lines in the GPAC in the country. Let's get behind those guys and play a little bully ball.
McCoy with the carry again beyond the 45-yard line. That's a Dordt first down to the 45-yard line. Parker back on the right side. That last time tucked in behind him. This time he got behind Matt Lawson at center. And the defenders with a first down at their own 45-yard line.
Yeah, and when you pick up that first down in a series, then you can look at tempo, maybe shortening the time between plays, get things rolling.
First down and 10 at the 45-yard line. McDaniel, high snap, gets it, throws to the sideline, pass is completed to Looker. Looker spins away from a tackler, spins away from another one, still on his feet, hang on to the football, down to inside the 35-yard line to the 34-yard line.
Yeah, you make a good point. You want guys to have that second, third, fourth effort, but in doing so, you just have to make sure you secure the ball because it's always that.
Ball gets away from the body, and
Exactly.
and those helmets come in and pop it out.
Yeah, and defenses are trained that way, right? They're targeting the football, trying to cause a turnover, but a good gain there on the pass.
First and 10 for the defenders at the 34-yard line. McDaniel turns, hands, gives to Wellen. Wellen the ball carrier, and Wellen picks up 3 yards on the play, this time following the center and left guard. And really, Dordt just trying to establish the run here. Got away from it a little bit, it seemed, but now really simplifying things. Joel Akers, the near side guard, as well as Ethan Hansen, and you line up Riley, sixth lineman, if you will, just off of the left tackle. Gain of 3, second and 7. Now Riley over on the right side. Back to pass is McDaniel. McDaniel throws over the middle. Pass is incomplete. Intended for Looker. It's going to be third down and 7 at the 31-yard line.
Yeah, and he had Looker open, but there was a little bit of pressure to McDaniel's right. I think he probably adjusted his arm angle a little bit. Wasn't able to probably put the ball where he intended for it to go.
So Dordt leading 14-6, threatening in Dakota Wesleyan territory. They're at the 31-yard line facing third down and 6. Man in motion is Bold, and they hand it off to Wellen. Wellen, the ball carrier. Wellen's going to be stopped short of the first down by about a yard. Going to bring up fourth down and 1 for the defenders at the 25-yard line.
Well, it'd be really tempting to kick it here, right, to
get the 2 scores
make
again.
It a 2-score game, but also, yeah, you got one of those best offensive linemen. You have a size advantage up front. Should be able to just tuck it inside and pick up the first down.
Fourth down and 1. McDaniel changes the play. 15 seconds on the play clock. 4:52 on the game clock. That's left to play in the third quarter. McDaniel, 4th and 1. Fakes the handoff, pitches right side McCoy. McCoy with the first down to the edge. Still in bounds, 15-10-5, and stopped short of the goal line. And the defenders, you said, just tuck in and pick up a yard. Well, they faked that way and then just had to get the pitch out to McCoy, and came with a little bit of nervousness, but he makes the play. That's why you practice it, and he's able to get to the edge.
Well, and yeah, Coach Simple was probably on the other side of the ball thinking the same thing. Probably had his guys in tight a little bit more. Definitely opened up the pitch play.
First down and goal to go inside the 5. And McCoy on the carry. Preston McCoy maybe picks up a yard on the play. It's going to be 2nd down and goal to go. 4:10 remaining here in the third quarter. 2nd down and goal to go. Dordt leading 14-6 on a day that has turned sunny. It is breezy, almost straight out of the south. And Cade McDaniel. And we've got movement.
They're shifting. Who's in motion? They're shifting offensively. I'm not sure about this call.
And they're going to call it on one of the offensive linemen. I believe they got
73.
Yeah, Nathan Warner. So now 2nd down and goal to go at the 8. Well, 5 more yards to work with. How's that? Cade McDaniel, the quarterback, under 4 minutes to go in the third period. Dordt leading. Dakota Wesleyan on defense. Inside their own 10. Rolling right as McDaniel. McDaniel comes set. Throws to the end zone. Incomplete. And Ethan Snyder unable to come down with that. It's going to be 3rd down and goal to go from the 8.
Yeah, you have McDaniel basically rolling out to his right, trying to throw it back across the field. Typically, when you run that type of play, what you're hoping is that the defensive secondary overreacts and you have somebody standing backside wide open. Dakota Wesleyan defended that pretty well. It would have taken perfectly thrown ball to complete that one.
3rd down, goal to go. Wellen in the backfield, 12 seconds on the play clock. Back to pass, throws to the end zone,
That's early. He's all over him.
Pass is incomplete, intended for Looker. And as you said, a lot of contact early on that one. Looker unable to bring it down. He had somebody draped on him. And that's going to set up a field goal attempt by Stephen Leinen, trying to make it a 2-score game again. 14-6 currently. So Leinen will attempt a 26-yarder. Blade Coons will hold, trying to turn this into a 17-6 contest. And the snap is down, kick is up, and the kick is through the uprights, and the Dordt defenders go up a couple of scores again, 17-6 with 3:23 left to play in the third quarter. Let's take a 1-minute break. You're listening to Dordt Football on KIHK on the Dordt Media Network. Back with more in a minute.
Special thanks to all our Dordt Media Network sponsors. Volink Enterprises Incorporated, building homes for families and businesses in Northwest Iowa since 1962. Let's work together to bring your vision into reality. Volink Enterprises Incorporated. Today's broadcast is brought to you by the Van Engelenhoven Agency, your trusted independent insurance agency throughout Northwest Iowa. Contact the Van Engelenhoven Agency's Sioux Center advisors Mark Holsoff or Lisa Dykstra.
Today's broadcast brought to you by Beaver Eye Care, serving Sioux Center and the surrounding communities for over 30 years. Come see Dr. Paul Beaver, Dr. Dan Klausing, or Dr. Reese Beaver for all your comprehensive eye care needs. This broadcast also brought to you by Vision Realty. We are polished, experienced, and professional, offering excellence every step of the way.
Leinen field goal extends the lead, and now Leinen will kick it through the end zone, and the Dordt defenders with a 17-6 lead. They'll send the defense onto the field. Dakota Wesleyan will start 1st down and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
I would assume that with only less than 3.5 minutes left in the third quarter, Dakota Wesleyan going into the wind, we're going to get a heavy dose of number 2, Aaron, carrying the football. Of course, Lee has pulled it a few times, had some good running room, so I would assume we're going to see mostly run plays here to kind of finish out the quarter.
1st down and 10 for Dakota Wesleyan. Motion a man through. That's Maxwell Robb. Handed off. No. Keeping it is Lee. Lee, the quarterback, and Lee. Short gain on the play. Picks up 2. It'll be 2nd down and 8. And as you said, that's a situation where he fakes to Aaron and ends up pulling it and keeping it himself. and got back to the line of scrimmage, picked up maybe a couple of yards on the play, tackled by the defenders, and by Drew Dom. Dakota Wesleyan with it, 2nd down and 7, so a gain of 3 on the play, under 3 minutes to go in the 3rd period. And they hand it off to Aaron. Aaron to hold the run through, closed up, bounces outside, still on his feet, gets a 1st down and plus a yard or 2. So a 1st down on the play for Dakota Wesleyan out to the 38-yard line. And Jamin Aaron, although he has had difficulty piling up yards today, he has shown why he's gained over 1,100 yards against lesser defenses. He's breaking some of those for 20 and 30 yards instead today, 6 and 7 and 8 yards out of time.
Right, and those are the type of plays that we haven't seen most of the season, right? Maybe a little bit from Connor McQuillan against the Dordt defense, but typically guys are able to take the ball carrier down with little or no gain.
1st down and 10 for the Tigers at their own 38-yard line. Handoff to Aaron. Aaron again picks up 2 or 3 on the play, falls forward out to the 42-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 7. 2nd and 7. Cooper Hidalgo on the tackle for the defenders. So let's see if the defenders can get the defense off of the field. Love to see Dakota Wesleyan have to kick it one more time into the wind, but I don't know if that's going to play out that way, even if you get a stop here on this, unless you're going to use timeouts, and feels early to be thinking about that. 2nd down and 7. Austin Lee, two receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Back to pass. Aaron stays in the backfield as a blocker. Pass is completed, and not much there for Logan Feuerbach, and that's going to bring up 3rd down. 3rd down and 4 at their own 44-yard line. Now if you get a stop on this one, that's where you call the timeout.
Yeah. Right, yep.
First things first, though, try to get a stop here for the defenders. Line to gain is the Dakota Wesleyan 43-yard line. 35 seconds and counting, 13 seconds on the play clock. And the Dordt defense holds that time. They don't jump. We've seen that a couple of times today as well. Back to pass. Pass underneath. Is intercepted. Oh, in and out of the hands of Grant Hixon. Hixon almost had that one on the ground in Dakota Wesleyan territory. Instead, it's in and out of the hands of a sliding Grant Hixon. Dakota Wesleyan trying for the screen. Hixon was there. Don't have to use a timeout to stop the clock.
That's big right there. It's forcing Dakota Wesleyan to have to punt into the wind. I'd say if there is one knock, and not very many knocks against Austin Lee, at times this year he's thrown the ball into coverage. He's thrown quite a few interceptions, but typically he makes play, but that was a big incompletion there.
The defenders content to just let this kick happen. They were not going to get a penalty, leaving early or being offsides or anything like that. And Dakota Wesleyan will down it at the 34-yard line with 6 seconds remaining in the period. Dordt leading 17-6. Defense gets off of the field, and the offense now with an opportunity to build on the 17-6 advantage.
Yeah, and there'd be some temptation maybe to take a shot down the field here. But the downside of that is most likely this is going to be the last play of the quarter, and you don't necessarily want to put yourself into a 2nd and long with an incompletion when you turn around and have to go into the wind. 1st down, decent field position. I don't know that I'd be taking that risk at this point. Handoff. This is McCoy. I think it was McCoy at least. It's going to be a gain of 3 on the play. 2nd down and 7. And we're going to switch sides. That's the end of the 3rd period. Our score, Dordt 17, Dakota Wesleyan 6. Let's take a 1-minute break, and we'll be back with the 4th quarter of play right after this. You're listening to Dordt Football on KIHK.
Today's broadcast brought to you by Beaver Eye Care, serving Sioux Center and the surrounding communities for over 30 years. Come see Dr. Paul Beaver, Dr. Dan Klausing, or Dr. Reese Beaver for all your comprehensive eye care needs. This broadcast also brought to you by Vision Realty. We are polished, experienced, and professional, offering excellence every step of the way. We are the vision you can trust.
Today's broadcast brought to you by the Grain House in Hull. They have amazing coffee, energy drinks, breakfast, lunch, and more. With a big city feel, located only 10 minutes away in Sioux Center, they have a second location opening next year in Sanborn. Today's broadcast brought to you by Snyder Insurance and Financial Group of Sioux Center, offering life, health, Medicare supplements, annuities, and more. Trusted service and exceptional products with you in mind since 1973. Second down and 7 for the defenders as we await the beginning of the fourth quarter. Dordt leading 17-6. Colson Cruz fakes the handoff, keeps it himself, and he is stopped at the line of scrimmage. Tackle made by Dakota Wesleyan's Cale Stevenson. Stevenson reads it as Cruz. He's gotten really comfortable with trying to come back and work his way through the fray in the middle of the field, and that time Stevenson was right there.
Right, yeah, really defended well by Dakota Wesleyan there. Both every part of the triple option was defended. Had a guy out at pitch. They defended the dive pretty well. And as you mentioned, Stevenson's inside to make a play on Cruz.
Third down and 7. Ethan Snyder comes over to the near side. The tight end gets set. Third down and long for the defenders, and just not much there as Dakota Wesleyan able to bottle up the run for the most part today. Nick Wellen stopped for no gain on the play. It's going to be 4th down and 6. Dordt will punt into the wind.
Yeah, and I think Dakota Wesleyan's going to force Dordt offense to throw it sometime here going into the wind. Just going to probably overplay the run, get a lot of guys around the ball. Going to have to make a play through the air.
13:48 left to play in regulation. And scooping it up is Blade Coons, and a spiraling kick gets over the head and fielded on the run by Dakota Wesleyan and Aaron out of bounds at the 34-yard line. There's a couple things that happened there. Coons had to go up and get that, or he had to get the snap. That wasn't great back to him, and then he spirals one that Jamin Aaron had to track down over his shoulder. Not an easy play to make either, and gave the defenders enough time to get down the field and make pretty good coverage on the punt.
Well, and I do believe that Dakota Wesleyan's punt return game leads the conference in average per return. So they got some schemes, defended pretty well there, and actually a pretty good punt into the wind.
First down and 10 at the 34-yard line. Handoff to Aaron. Aaron tries to bounce it to the outside. Ian McDonald is there. There was nothing there for Aaron, and McDonald came up to clean up the mess, and that's exactly what you want that linebacker to do. Watching the replay, Dom and Andrews and Leakey really contained things and forced him to the outside. McDonald, he could cheat to the outside there.
Yeah, it looked like Hixon kind of came in there late and tried to jump the pile and took a shot right on the knee. So hopefully he's okay and can be solid in coverage.
Second down and 7. Wind at the back of Dakota Wesleyan, moving from right to left or from south to north. Keeping it as Lee. Lee falls forward to the 41-yard line. It's going to be 3rd down and 3.
Yeah, defended pretty well. You know, they've done that a few times where they fake the ball to Aaron, go across the body, and Lee pulls it and runs backside. And on that play, McDonald had a chance to make the play right at the line of scrimmage. A good move by Lee to pick up some positive yards.
3rd down and 3, and Dakota Wesleyan trailing by a couple of scores, but they are very deliberate on offense. They take their time. 13 seconds on the play clock. Lee has Aaron in the backfield with him. Wind at his back. Sunshine coming down. Keel Nelson in motion. Left to right. Back to pass is Lee. Lee looking. Lee pass intended for Nelson and just overshoots him. Had him by a step as the safety was trying to cover, and that was Abe Stace, and that could have turned out dramatically differently if that pass is on the money.
Yeah, probably not the matchup that you want against a receiver like Nelson. He's obviously leads Dakota Wesleyan in receptions. He's one of their main playmakers. And I know Coach Penner told me this week primarily you're going to see Hixon following Nelson wherever he goes, but he wasn't on him on that play, and Dordt, fortunate that wasn't a big play for Dakota Wesleyan.
Abe Stace back to return. This kick takes a Dakota Wesleyan bounce, and it'll roll out of bounds at the 12-yard line. First down and 10 for the defenders at their own 12. 11:55 left to go in the contest, and obviously if you're Dordt, you're going to keep the ball on the ground and try to work the clock, and obviously into the wind as well, but it could take a while for these last 11:55 to play out.
Well, exactly. And now we're kind of backed up here inside the 15. This is a big offensive series. Dordt needs to pick up a first down or two, be able to take some extra time off the clock.
Cade McDaniel back in at quarterback for the defenders. Riley from the left to the right. Hands it off up the middle and 2 or 3 yards on the play out to the 15-yard line. It's going to be second down and 7, so a gain of 3.
Yeah, no reason to be in a hurry here.
No.
Getting the play in, make sure everybody's on the same page, get the correct signal. Still got over 20 seconds left on the play clock, so I'd like to see Dordt be a little bit more deliberate here, not be in a hurry.
Cade McDaniel, turn, hand, and I believe that's Welland to the outside. Yep, Nick Welland on the carry. Sets up third down and 4. Third down and 3. Third down and 3 for the defenders at the 20-yard line, 19-yard line. So a gain of 7 on the play. They need the 22 or so for a first down. So Cade McDaniel trying to engineer a time-consuming drive here. Dordt playing with a 2-score lead. Third down and short. And McDaniel hands it off, and it looks like that's enough for a first down. It's going to be close at least. And it is a first down for the defenders. Move the sticks, and Dordt will be able to extend the drive.
Well, so far today, I think the inside run game, the running back that has felt the most comfortable inside the tackles has been Nick Welland. And, showed good patience there, but knew when he needed to kind of stick his nose in it and pick up the first down, and that was a big one. Hopefully we can keep this drive moving.
First down and 10 for the defenders at their own 23-yard line. Riley goes set on the far side. That extra lineman, if you will. Back to pass is McDaniel. McDaniel takes a shot, and Harkin is held on the play, and that's going to be either pass interference or a hold against the defensive back for Dakota Wesleyan. A little handsy. That was Vicente Zepeda.
That should be pass interference, Mike, because I believe the ball was in the air.
Yeah, that's the signal. So a 15-yard penalty. I don't know if it makes up for the one that we thought was in the end zone earlier.
Right. But that was a big one. Converting the first down there, getting the ball out closer to midfield, keeping this drive going. And exactly what I mentioned earlier, Dakota Wesleyan is really, especially on that last play, crowding the line of scrimmage, really daring the defenders to throw it downfield. And those are the kind of things that can happen. Either you complete it or you get a pass interference. Unlike late in the half when we threw the interception, and obviously that kind of slipped out of Cruz's hands. But at that point, Dakota Wesleyan is thinking you're going to throw the ball. This is a little different situation.
First down and 10 at the 38-yard line. Handoff. Up the middle is Welland, and Welland picks up 4 yards on the play. And if Dordt has consistent success with that, I can't imagine that they're going to go away from that a whole lot.
Right. Yeah, they're getting, that's your strength offensively, right? Your offensive line, they do a good job. Even though Dakota Wesleyan is really pressing the line of scrimmage, they're really kind of rolling the dice here, trying to make a big play defensively. If we crease them at all, we could see a big run.
Second down and 6. Some games going final in the GPAC now. Pitch near side McCoy. McCoy to the 40-yard line, back to the line of scrimmage, and that is it. It's going to be third down and long. Third and long, 40-11. Northwestern defeats Jamestown. That one is final. Doan is leading Hastings 17-9 midway through the third quarter. I'm not sure if that timing is correct. We'll double check. It's going to be 3rd down and 6 for the defenders with 9 minutes remaining in the game. So Dordt still with a 2-possession lead, 17-6, or a 2-score lead, I should say. 3rd down and 6, inside handoff, and McCoy tripped up and very nearly breaks it, but he is stopped at the 45-yard line. It's going to set up 4th down and 3, and the defenders likely will send the punt team onto the field. And McCoy, grab it on. That was one of the interior linemen. Ethan Engen makes the tackle. It's going to be 4th down, and Dordt will take the clock down to nearly 8 minutes remaining by the time they punt. Jamin Arend is back at his own 26-yard line. Line of scrimmage is the Dordt 45. And Blade Coons is on to punt. And Coons gets it away, a wobbler. This is taken by Arend. Arend slips a tackle and slips another one, and he is downed at the 30-yard line. So 1st down and 10 for Dakota Wesleyan at their own 30-yard line. So the defenders picked up 1 first down on that drive. This has really turned into a defensive struggle. Dakota Wesleyan will have it 1st down and 10 at their own 30. 1st and 10 for the Tigers. They need to start thinking, well, they don't score on this drive. It gets really tough.
Yeah, it does. You don't want to necessarily go away from your game plan, and I know, Dakota Wesleyan has had success running the ball throughout the season, so that's kind of their bread and butter. But you got to look for a pass downfield at some point here.
1st down and 10 at the 30. And this is Arend. Arend, the ball carrier. Arend picks up 5 on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 5, actually a gain of 6, 2nd and 4.
Yeah, and when you have a guy like Arend, too, just giving him the ball, he's a big play threat as well. I'm sure they're hoping that he can just break one of those at some point, especially on a 1st down play. But so far, the defender's been able to contain him. 2nd down and 4. Ball's on the turf. Gets booted forward. It's loose and finally picked up. Dordt says they have it. Adam Moaning says Dordt has it. That ball got kicked in the backfield and might have gotten kicked forward and close to a 1st down. Now the wrestling match for who has the ball. Yeah, that thing was bouncing around quite a bit, and I think hard for somebody to come up with it. It's at the 40-yard line. Dakota Wesleyan ends up with the ball. And that might be a 1st down. It is. Well, that's one to file away. Ball's down on the turf. Running back comes forward, kicks it forward, and it looked like 2 Dordt players knocked each other off of the football. Yep. Looked like one was trying to scoop it up. The other one was sliding in to get on top of it. And even on the replay, it looked like the ball was changing hands several times underneath the pile before Dakota Wesleyan ended up with the ball. So disaster averted by Dakota Wesleyan. 1st down and 10 for the Tigers at their own 40-yard line. They turn, hand give to Arend. Arend, the ball carrier. Arend picks up 1 yard on the play, and the play is finally whistled dead. It'll be 2nd down and 9 with 6:49 remaining in the game. Dordt still leading 17-6. So 2nd and 6 for the Tigers at their own 41-yard line. Adam DeYoung on the near side lines up. I beg your pardon, that's Cole Holden on the near side. Back to pass, and they flare it over to Arend. Arend at the 40, back to the line of scrimmage, and the Dordt defense played it about as well as you could. Coming up to make the tackle for the defenders. That was Chip Casey. Casey on the stop. It's going to be 3rd down and long. 6:15 and counting. Ball game. Yeah, really good job by Casey there to just, not overplay it, not sprint up too hard at Arend, because he has the ability to make a move in the open field. Good open field tackle. 3rd down and 6. Back to pass. Lee looking over the middle. Pass is complete. That's a 1st down for Arend. Still on his feet to the 45 and down at the 43-yard line. And Dakota Wesleyan extends the drive with 5:48 remaining in the game. Well, and as a defense, you need to get into your zone drops, and you need to be making sure you're over the top. But you also have to know where number 2 is. He's the safety valve, and honestly, he's the guy they want to get the ball, either in Aaron's hands or Nelson. So you can't necessarily overplay everybody else.
First down and 10. Fake the handoff to Aaron. Back to passes Lee. Lee underthrows it. I thought it skipped. Yep, the line judge signaling incomplete. Italy second down and 10. 5:19 remaining on the pass intended for the other half of that two-headed monster, if you will. You've got Nielsen, the wide receiver. You've got Aaron, the running back. They take care of the bulk of the offense, and Lee is the quarterback, and the ball skips to him. It'll be second down. Second down and 10 after the incomplete pass. Football at the 42-yard line. 5:19 left to play. Dordt clinging to a 2-score lead at 17-6, trying to protect it and get the defense off of the field. They've been out there a while again. Second week in a row, they've been on the field a lot in the second half. Lee, pass is complete to Aaron. Aaron down at the 20-yard line and unable to get his head around to see it coming was Drew Dom. Dom was on the coverage, and it's going to be first down and 10 for the Tigers with 5 minutes remaining at the Dordt 19-yard line.
Yeah, Dom really in good position. It's just a matter of another good football player, Aaron, making a play on the ball. Somehow came up with it, kept the drive alive.
3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Back to pass is Lee. Lee, pocket pressure, dumps it off underneath Aaron. Aaron at the 15 to the 10, still on his feet. He's going to get to the end zone and hits the pylon. Touchdown, Tigers. And with 4:37 left to go in the game, the Dordt defenders still with some work to do, leading 17-12. So a touchdown for the Tigers. They cut it down to a 5-point contest, and they're going to have to go for 2 here. So Jamin Aaron, as we talked about, they wanted to get the ball in the hands of the playmaker, and they did. And he was able to get away from a tackle at the 10, able to stay in bounds up the near sideline. And now Dakota Wesleyan, an all-important 2-point conversion try at 17-12. They can turn it into a situation where a field goal ties it. Touchdown could win it. Otherwise, they need to get a touchdown in the final 4:37. Tigers empty the backfield, and we're going to have a timeout on the field. Timeout charged to the defenders. We're going to keep it right here. This timeout is brought to you by Casey's Bakery. Find your favorite bakery products at caseysbakery.com. So the defenders would call a timeout. They recognize the significance of this play, trying to keep it at a 5-point difference on the 2-point try coming for Dakota Wesleyan. Around the conference today in GPAC football, Doane leads Hastings 20-9. That is, late in the third quarter is the report there. Morningside leading Briarcliff 34-8. And Concordia leading Mount Marty 28-14. That's early in the fourth quarter. .437 left to play. And the shadow's getting a little longer now. I would imagine it's getting a little cooler in the stands. Wind has continued to whip out of the south. Not getting the benefit of the warmer temperatures yet. So with 4:37 left to go in the game, Dakota Wesleyan going for 2, trying to make it a 3-point contest. And Dakota Wesleyan, Lee, empties the backfield. Send a man in motion. That's Aaron. Fakes the handoff to Aaron. Lee rolling out to the right. Looking. Dordt on coverage. And the ball is batted into the air. And the Dordt defenders get a stop on the 2-point conversion. Everyone stayed home on the 2-point try. Able to knock it away. And the score remains 17-12.
Yeah, really a smart play by several of the Dordt defensive players, not overplaying the quarterback, knowing when to come. And what was it, Hixon with the deflection, knocked it away, preventing the 2-point play.
First down, and it'll be Dakota Wesleyan now kicking off with the wind. And if you're Dakota Wesleyan, what do you do here?
Yeah, I think for them, they got to be thinking, kick it deep.
Use your timeouts if you have to.
If you have to, might even be early for that. Yeah, I guess that all depends on Dort's offensive approach, right? But yeah, I would assume they're going to kick it deep, because what you don't want to do is kick something short or try an onside kick too early, like now, and give Dordt really good starting field position, because yeah, there's a reason why you kicked into the wind to start the half, is to have that wind now. So I would assume you're going to see a deep kick. Try to keep Dordt honest. Boy, now Dort's thinking onside kick, so we got extra guys up near the 50-yard line, 45.
So Dordt playing as if Dakota Wesleyan might do something cute here. And, boy, this does make me a little nervous.
Yeah, it's not going to give your returner much of a chance if they do.
And they're going to kick it through the end zone. So
all
of that for a touchback, and the defenders will take over first down and 10 at their own 25-yard line. First down and 10. And the Dordt defenders trying to put a drive together here to salt this one away, leading 17-12. And you need a few first downs here. Can't afford to just have to kick into the wind again. Dakota Wesleyan getting their first touchdown of the day moments ago. A couple of field goals to go with it. Fail on the two-point conversion. This is Wellen. Wellen hurdles the pile, picks up 3 on the play. It's going to be second down and 7.
Yeah, you'd love to be able to drive the length of the field here, get a score, put this thing on ice. But, hey, the main thing here is you need positive yards. Got a little over 3 yards on that play. Get positive yards, convert first downs, keep that clock moving.
Second down and 7. The defenders trying to remain in a second-place tie for the conference championship race. Final regular season game. Cade McDaniel turns, hands, gives to Wellen. Wellen breaks one. He's to the 40, to the 50. There he goes. No flags on the play. Nick Wellen, 10-5. Touchdown defenders with 3:45 left to go in regulation. And Nick Wellen finally able to break one. We were waiting all day for that. And the Dordt defenders go back up by 2 scores, 23-12.
I think I said something about that inside run play. If we can crease them one time, there's too many guys close to the line of scrimmage. Great to see Nick be able to break that one for a long run, long touchdown run. That's the play we needed right there, Mike.
Nick Wellen on that run goes over 100 yards. 72-yard touchdown run. He's got 129 now for the day on 15 carries, so it gives you an idea of how hard of work it was. He had 57 yards on 14 carries up to that point, and now Dordt a little late in getting someone on the field. Their 11th guy on the field. They were going to go for 2 to try and extend the lead back to 13 points. So I'm not sure the math and the reasoning there, but I'm sure there's somewhere a rubric that says at this point you do this, and the Dordt defenders breathing a little easier now, 23-12. Now go ahead.
They're probably thinking, right, with the current 11-point lead, in my mind, that's a field goal, a touchdown, an extra point.
You're right.
A 2-point, right? So to me, you kick this thing, then you're taking that touchdown 2-point play away.
And that's what they're going to do now. So they were given a little chance to think about it. Yeah, because 12 or 13 points, really not a big difference. 11 to 12 is the difference.
Right.
So you get that 1 point. That's what you're looking at. I've seen too many.
Well, sometimes it's good to have a kicker on the sideline, an old pro kicker. Probably, hey guys, let's think about this.
Settle down, settle down. Yeah. Snap is down, and that one's blocked.
Oh, now you gotta play defense here. You gotta stop this. don't want to give up a 2-point play for Dakota Wesleyan.
Dordt's linemen trying to cut things off, and they finally do. So that one, the timing was off a little bit where...
Looked like the snap was low.
Yeah, it skipped out of the turf, and Blade Coons got it onto the turf, and Leinen's kick was low. So the first miss of the season on a PAT for Leinen. So it does remain an 11-point difference with 3:45 remaining. And the Dordt defenders with a 23-12 lead. Now I'm gonna be the wet blanket here. Did you see the Wesleyan Spirit Lake game at all last week in the playoffs?
Just saw how it finished.
Well, there was a pick six, and everyone, Spirit Lake's feeling great about it. They've got the lead. Wesleyan a kick return for a touchdown on the ensuing play. This is all with like 3 minutes remaining.
Right. Yeah, I knew
Next drive, Wesleyan kicks off to Spirit Lake. Spirit Lake has it at their own 20. They throw a jump ball to the 50. Defensive back for Wesleyan goes up to try and shove the player out of bounds rather than wrap him up. Doesn't get a good shove on him. Gone. Scores that way to go up by 1 or 2. And then Wesleyan still had a chance to win it on a very long field goal. But crazy things can happen.
They can, and that's where... Yeah, you don't want to take things for granted, even your extra point.
No.
Your kicker's been solid all year long. Your holder's been great all year, taking every snap and getting it placed. Yeah, you have one of those plays, and now it's still kind of in reach for Dakota Wesleyan.
And this is that pooch kick we were talking about, and the defenders, I think the defenders got it. Now, did that have to touch the turf before or could you catch it in the air?
He could catch it in the air.
Okay. Well, I'm not sure he knew that.
Yeah, and which, as long as he makes the play, made the play on the ball and has it, yeah, Dordt ends up with it.
The ball definitely went 10 yards. It did hit the turf. And getting on top of it.
Yeah, the scary part of allowing that thing to hit the turf is you don't know where it's going to bounce, right? It could have gone sideways, out of bounds, and all of a sudden Dakota Wesleyan starting at midfield. But there's no question here. Dordt ended up with the ball. There were no Dakota Wesleyan players around it. It didn't go out of bounds that I saw.
Well, if we could get a replay from the truck, that would be great, just so we aren't just simply going off of our memory. And I am not sure what the conversation is.
Right. Here you see it.
Yep.
Ball bounces, and he has the ball. Boy, he's close to the sideline.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering.
That's probably the discussion. They were close to the sideline.
So that was indeed what they were talking about. So,
boy, it always. Hey, you know how I feel about officials, Mike, and so I hate it when they get together and sometimes they talk themselves into certain things. But it looked pretty obvious that I didn't see the number, but
I think
Dordt ended up with the ball there.
I think it was Evan Jordahl. I think it might have been Matt Bumgars, but it was either 6 or 8 over on the near side, and we just have our view obstructed. Now the defenders with it. Preston McCoy up to the line of scrimmage, and he stopped for no gain on the play. It's 2nd down and 10. And Dakota Wesleyan going to let it ride for now. And the whole thing here is you don't want to get ahead of yourself. And now Dakota Wesleyan will call a timeout. And we haven't taken a break in a while, so let's take a timeout. This timeout brought to you by Casey's Bakery. Find your favorite bakery products at caseysbakery.com. Back with more in 1 minute.
Hi, my name is Lynn Marie Tremolian.
My name is Tyler Vanderwoon. Hi, my name is Noah Zylstra. I'm from Chicago, Illinois. I'm from Pella, Iowa.
And I'm from Springfield, Kentucky.
One of my favorite things about the Dordt Media Network is being able to go to various Dordt sporting events throughout the year.
My favorite part of the Dordt Media Network is being able to produce a quality live stream for people to watch at home.
Thanks for watching the Dordt Media Network.
And you're watching Dordt Media Network.
Thanks for watching the Dordt Media Network.
Nick Wellen on the carry, and no gain on the play. Worked his way out of the backfield. That's going to set up 3rd down and 9 and another timeout. You know that these are brought to you all season long by Casey's Bakery. Find your favorite bakery products at caseysbakery.com. So, with 3:21 left to go in the game, is it too soon for us to talk about the potential of a playoff berth?
I don't think so. I feel a lot better about talking playoffs now at this point. 3:21. I'm not going to say we haven't won, but boy, some really strange things would have to happen in order for Dakota Wesleyan to come back, and they do.
It could.
It happens.
Yep. So having said that, 20-team field, that's different.
Yeah.
And Matt Boss and Josh Tatton and I sat down earlier this week. We talked about it. The format is the top 12 teams, they're going to get a bye next week. The next 8 teams are going to have to play to get us down to a field of 16 for the following week. If you are seeded 13 through 16, you're getting a home game. 17 through 20 are on the road. What's it like waiting for that news on the at-large bubble?
Well, and it's terrible. I experienced a lot of them, and unfortunately, we had a lot of good teams that I coached that didn't get in, even though they were in the top 16 at the time. So you're nervous until you finally get that call.
Handoff to Wellen. Wellen up the middle, and Nick Wellen picks up 3 on the play. It's going to be 4th down and 5, and Dakota Wesleyan will burn their final timeout with 3:16 remaining. So this one not done yet, but on this set of downs, this series, you may say, well, you haven't run much time off of the clock, but you have forced Dakota Wesleyan to use all 3 of their timeouts.
Right, and even though they can somewhat control the clock offensively, at this point, I think you have your punt team on the field, get it away here, force Dakota Wesleyan to drive the length of the field to just put it within a 1-score game. I mean, even a score wouldn't hurt you, but you got to force them to drive the length of the field, to use a lot of clock in that process, and plus your defense, they've played lights out all season long. So, put it in their hands and put this thing away.
4th down and 6. Football at the 41-yard line of Dakota Wesleyan. Blade Coons on to punt.
Yeah, protection's important here. Dakota Wesleyan has no one deep. They're going to come after this, trying to get the block. Although the flip side of it is they're not necessarily pressing the line of scrimmage. I don't know if they're nervous about us faking. No need to at this point.
Yeah, this die. It's going to roll around.
Oh, my word.
It is not downed. And that might have been a case where the cover team, they might have been better off just letting it roll.
It was kind of rolling sideways, kind of, and with the wind, probably wouldn't have gone into the end zone. But they still have to go 80 instead of 40, or 50. You got to go 80 instead of 50 yards. So now, if you're Dakota Wesleyan, you got to be thinking, we got to travel the length of the field, but we don't necessarily have to score a touchdown here. You need a touchdown
at some point,
2-point conversion, and a field goal to tie it.
Yeah.
So might as well maybe get it across midfield, kick a field goal.
See how comfortable they are with that. Lee is your quarterback. Back to pass. Lee pass to the sideline is complete. And the clock will continue to run. 2:59 left to go in the game. And for our radio listeners on that punt, it bounced at about the 10, took a squirt sideways, and at the goal line, the Dordt cover team trying to keep it out of the end zone. So a touchback for Dakota Wesleyan. Second down and 5 under pressure, and down he goes.
And that's huge. You get the sack.
Dougie Walls on senior day today with the quarterback sack, and that was more or less
right?
That was more or less an excuse me sack, and Doug Wells with the sack sets up 3rd down and 11, 2:19 remaining. Well, the Dordt defense now, don't get ahead of yourself, play within yourself. Lee back to pass. Dordt sends 2, drops everybody back else in coverage. Pass to the sideline is complete, but they keep him in bounds. Clock will roll to the 2-minute mark. Now they will stop it.
With the chains moving here, so
they stop the clock at the 1:57 mark, and now they'll start it again to the 40. So Dordt dropped everybody. They had 8 in coverage. Back to pass. Lee under pressure. Lee out of the backfield, and he is brought down. Eric Gustafson, I believe. No, Bryce Pop. The Creston, Iowa native on the quarterback sack. It'll be 2nd down and 10, 90 seconds remaining.
Biggest part of that play is keeping the clock going.
2nd down and 10, back to passes Lee. Lee to the sideline and forced out of bounds. Pass underneath and it's complete. And that is completed to Logan Fearback. It's going to be 3rd down and 1.
Yeah, it does give Dakota Wesleyan a chance to settle themselves, get a play call in, but it also gives you defense time to reset as well. So, yeah, you want to keep them in bounds, you want to keep the clock moving, but not necessarily the end of the world.
3rd down and 1. Do you run it here to pick up a 1st down? Ball's on the turf, picked up by Lee. Lee pass completed, and Dordt makes the tackle. And Dordt just trying to keep the clock moving. Abe Stace on the tackle. It's to the 44-yard line. Dordt leading by 2 scores. 1:16 left to go in the game. Dordt leading 23-12. 23-12 our score. Lee back to pass. Lee pass incomplete, intended for Jamin Arend out of the backfield. Stops the clock with 1:05 remaining.
Well, and that's who you have to be looking for right now. I think if you're on defense, you have to know where number 0 is, Nelson, and you have to know where number 2 is in coverage. Those 2 guys are going to be the first looks from quarterback Lee. He wants to get the ball to his playmakers, try to get a big play here at the end of the game.
2nd down and 10, 1:05 remaining. Back to pass is Lee. Lee, pass underneath is complete. Trying to get to the sideline, and he's forced out of bounds, but he was going backwards, so the clock continues to run. 50 seconds left. I'm not sure Dakota Wesleyan is aware that the clock is running. 45 seconds. 3rd down and 3. Football at the Dordt 37-yard line. Back to pass is Lee. Lee looking underneath. He's going to run for it. Lee scrambling to the side. And Lee stumbling as he falls, and he is stopped inbounds, but he gets a 1st down, so it'll stop. It'll stop as they reset the chains.
The official
on the sideline kept winding it.
And it was a 1st down, so I think they're going to have to put some time back on the clock. If I'm Dakota Wesleyan at this point, do you spike it to stop the clock because it's going to get wound in?
Get a field goal and then try for the onside kick?
Yeah, because they score a touchdown here. There's not going to be enough time for them to do anything.
I'm guessing they want 25 seconds on the clock. That's what they have.
Yeah. But they're going to wind it in. The clock's going to start on the official signal.
So 23 and start on the signal. 1st down and 10 for the Tigers. Out of timeouts at the Dordt 31-yard line. Back to passes Lee. Lee pass over the middle is incomplete. Intended on the play for Keel Nelson. 16 seconds remaining. 2nd down and 10 at the 31-yard line. So 2nd down and 10 at the 31-yard line. 16 seconds remaining in the game. Dordt leading 23-12. The last tense moments of this one. Oh, I'm glad Nick Wellen broke that one for a touchdown earlier. Otherwise, it'd be really tense. 2nd down and 10. And back to pass is Lee. Lee looking. Lee throws underneath, and that one's going to be picked up by Grant Hixon. Hixon with his 3rd interception of the season. And that's going to be the ball game. 9 seconds remaining. The Dordt defenders will come out onto the field and get into victory formation. And the defenders won the regular season with an 8-2 record. So the Dordt defenders are going to knock off Dakota Wesleyan this afternoon. Never trailed, but it did have its tense moments. Dort's going to win it 23-12.
Hey, and how appropriate, huh? Grant Hixon with the interception there on a Saturday where you feature him at halftime.
There's the knee, and that's the ball game. Cade McDaniel takes a knee, and the Dordt defenders are going to go to 8-2, and now they await word if they will get into the 20-team playoff. We'll get that news sometime later tomorrow. So your final 23-12, Dordt with a 11-point win. Let's take a 2-minute break to wrap up, and we'll come back with a wrap-up of today's ball game right after this 2-minute timeout.
Defenders get it back. Langmeyer cross court. Got it again.
Welcome back to Open Space Park, where the Dordt defenders have just won by a final score of 23-12. This is the Wireless World post-game show. Wireless World, your Verizon authorized retailer with 7 locations in Northwest Iowa. Visit them at wirelessworld.com. And before we get to the wrap-up, let's take a look at those highlights, as we will roll the highlights and get those taken care of. Here is the completion to Jamin Arend, and he gets the touchdown to make it brought it back to a manageable difference. But then Dordt defends the 2-point conversion well, and this was a big sequence for the defenders, giving up a score, but getting the 2-point conversion stopped. And then I think it's Nick Wellen going 73 yards for the score, and that basically put the game away for the defenders.
Yeah, huge play right there, Mike, to put this thing out of reach.
Dakota Wesleyan did block the point after try, but the defenders able to defend it, and then they're going to get an interception later in the game. The only interception of the day. Dordt had some close calls, but it was finally Grant Hixon coming away with the game-sealing interception, and the Dordt defenders end their year with an 8-2 record. Here's the scoring recap, first of all. For the Dordt defenders, they scored first this afternoon. Brendan Piper, a 3-yard touchdown run to make it 7-0. That was with 10:16 left to go in the first quarter. Second quarter, Colson Cruz, a completion to Caden Harkin for 40 yards with 4:35 left to go in the half to make it 14-0 at the time. Dakota Wesleyan got a score late in the quarter, taking advantage of a turnover. They got a field goal to make it 14-3, brought it back to 14-6 actually with a second field goal midway through the third period. And Stephen Leinen matched that with a 26-yard field goal of his own to make it 17-6. Dakota Wesleyan, that was the sequence we just talked about, got a pass completion to Jamin Aaron for 19 yards to make it 17-12 at the time, brought it back to a one-score difference, and it looked like it was going to be a nail-biter down at the end, but Nick Wellen takes the suspense out of it with a 72-yard touchdown run with 3:45 left to go in the game, making our final 23-12. For the defenders today, the defenders 108 yards through the air, 282 rushing for a total of 390. Didn't feel like it. Dakota Wesleyan 202 yards passing, 73 yards rushing. The defense did a pretty nice job of limiting Dakota Wesleyan's rushing game. Jamin Aaron 66 yards rushing on 22 attempts this afternoon. The defenders led by Nick Wellen, 17 carries, 153 yards. Preston McCoy, nice day for him, 10 carries, 70 yards. Brendan Piper, 7 carries, 23 yards. Isaac Looker had 3 catches for 60 yards. Caden Harkin, 2 for 40. Cade Rohr, 1 for 8. For Dakota Wesleyan, Austin Lee, 21 of 34 passing, 202 yards. Completed 6 passes to Jamin Aaron for 69 yards. Nedved had 4 catches for 50 yards. Holden, 3 catches for 34 yards. Fearback, 4 catches for 25. Nelson, 4 catches for 24 yards. Defensively, Dordt ended up with 4 quarterback sacks today. Abe Stace, Pop had 1. Doug Walls had 1. Bumgars and Hidalgo teamed up for a half sack each, so they teamed up for a sack. And Tyler Wieringa got credited for a quarterback hurry as well. The only interception for the defenders today, Grant Hixon. Tackles for the defenders led by Abe Stace with 13, Tyler Wieringa with 11, Drew Dahm and Cooper Hidalgo, and Ian McDonald all with 8 tackles apiece. For Dakota Wesleyan, they were led by Stevenson with 11 tackles, and Hansen had 9. There are other games going on today. The scoreboard around the country, and I've been fed some information from the Great Plains Athletic Conference home office, and Montana Tech leading Carroll 23-14, so that would knock Carroll, I believe, out of contention more or less. And Bethel and Evangel are playing. Bethel and Evangel are tied at 31-31. I think that is a situation where you want Evangel to win. Otherwise, they're going to get the at-large, and Friends would sneak in front of them for an automatic qualifier. So you start talking about automatic qualifiers and at-larges, and you don't want anything funny to happen at this point. If you're Dordt, you want all of those at-large berths available. I think they're in pretty good shape. That's my personal opinion. Obviously, nothing is finalized until you get to the announcement tomorrow evening.
Yeah, and that's always the tough thing in terms of waiting when you really don't control, the teams that can control their destiny, their chances, whatever, are those conference champions, those automatic qualifiers. They're sitting good. They know what's going to happen, whether they have a bye or when they're going to be maybe in that first round to start off the postseason. But it's going to be a long, 26-ish hours waiting for that decision to be made. But you got to think we're sitting in a pretty good spot. And I tell you what they just improved the resume a week ago, right? Beating the number 5 ranked team in the country. On the road, boy, that's a resume builder right there. Finishing things up with the win today, tied for second in arguably one of the tougher conferences in the country. You would think if there's a conference that deserved 2 at-larges, it would be the GPAC.
Time will tell, and like I said, I felt pretty comfortable. I feel pretty comfortable, but at the same time, I've been comfortable before and been disappointed when the day comes. So we will wait and see. But for right now, we do know this: the Dordt defenders tied for second place, best ever finish in the conference, best ever regular season finish as well at 8-2. Now we wait, and in all likelihood, if they make it into the playoffs, playing a game next Saturday, probably one of those 13 to 20 seeds. And I said if they win today and get in, I felt it's 50-50. You host a game. Time will tell.
Right. Yeah, and the team that we were kind of looking at, and you mentioned that Carroll, Montana score where they're down 9.
Yeah.
In the second half of that game, they were ranked one spot ahead of the Defenders. That would probably be our matchup if you went by this past rating.
Yep.
So if they get beat, Dordt should move up in the standings. Should.
Yeah.
One of those. That's where you never know how things work with pollsters and people voting and all of that stuff. There's a lot of finagling here at the end of the year. Everybody kind of looking out for their own conferences and that kind of thing. But, yeah, that could be a good sign. Could be put us in a little better spot to host, too.
Time will tell. And the Dordt Defender women's basketball team getting a win earlier today as well. They got a victory over Mayville State, while the Defender men lose by 1 to Viterbo this afternoon in Orange City. Hockey team still playing. They're probably nearing conclusion. I haven't gotten an update on that, but you can check in on the Dordt Media Network for that one. So for Kyle Achterhoff, I'm Mike Biker. Have a great afternoon.